Hiya, folks. Welcome to the stream. We have a special guest on tonight, Mike Soldier 777, Whoopee, and tonight's topic is Christian rock. And Mike's going to introduce the show with a brief history and a brief rundown. And just going to talk all things Christian rock tonight. So over to you, Mike.
Hey, y'all doing? This is Mike Soldier 777 coming you from the East Coast of Canada. I'm gonna run down a brief history for about 10-15 minutes. I won't bore you to tears of how Christian music started and where it's at today in a brief nutshell. So, as you may know, my personal definition of Christian-oriented music is where the main focus is on the rock, of course, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, and as a redemptive work through a principal artists and writers in their personal lives, acknowledging Him as Lord of their lives. And the brief history is sort of like this. As you may know, like back in early days after World War II, when the Americans and people throughout the world got more money, more disposable income, they started having a form of place to go out, enjoy themselves after the wars ended in many countries. And that's where you get the idea of popularization of music back then, like jazz, the blues, country, those kind of things. Well, as we all know, this music kind of merged into what's called rock and roll back in the 50s and early 60s. So back and sort of fast forwarding into the mid to late 60s. In the mid 60s, you had some like prototype contemporary bands, composers, but there wasn't much of a market for Christian rock or Christian contemporary music at that time. So what happened in the late 60s in the hippie movement that happened back in that time, people became disenfranchised with the free lifestyle of sex, drugs, and all that kind of stuff. So what happened is that certain groups of people got together and due to outreach of different churches such as Calvary Chapel in California, early bands started to start up back in that period. Ranged from light rock to the more rockier bands like Love Song, Second Chapter of Acts, Servant, Petra, Resurrection Band, Servant, Phil Keaggy, Randy Stonehill, Randy Matthews, Keith Green, and Daryl Mansfield, and Larry Norman. These are some of the bands that artists started up back in the mid late 60s, early 70s. So now back in the mid to early 70s or early mid 70s, there wasn't much what you call Christian hard rock back then, very little. Most of the bands were like light rock, acoustic rock, that kind of thing. From the mid 70s to the late 70s to early 83, this was a very early stage of Christian hard rock, such as the Resurrection Band, Daniel Band, Barnabas, 100% Proof, Jerusalem, and Leviticus. And of course, Jerusalem and Leviticus were from Sweden. And the rest of some of the bands are from the U.S. I think 100% Proof are from U.K., I believe. And then in the mid 80s, from anywhere, and also too back then, a lot of labels, Christian labels back then, like Star Song, Murr Records, didn't quite know what to do with Christian rock and hard rock. Didn't quite know how to market them. So most of these labels took a leap of faith and signed these bands. To see what happens. Almost like you take a bunch of stuff and throw it at the wall, see what happens, see if it sticks. That's what the market was like back in the very early stages of Christian hard rock. So back in mid 80s, Christian rock and hard rock, or Christian hard rock and metal, became really popular. And from 83 to 87, this can be much more popular, especially with bands like Stryper and Barren Cross, and they're being relevant and went through a lot. Of course, a lot of these bands starting off went through a lot of struggles. There's a book out there on Amazon. I think Greg, you mentioned on your show, and I mentioned on mine in the past on our channels. It's called When the Rubber Meets the Road. There's a book out there about the struggles of two bands, Barren Cross and Bloodgood, and the struggles they went through, going on the road, touring, and going at different places and getting the word out with their music and the message. So as you may know, the idea of hard rock, Christian hard rock, further became popular throughout the 80s and early 90s. As you may know, when grunge hit big in the early 90s in North America, a lot of these classic rock bands, both Christian and mainstream, fell by the wayside. but in Europe and in certain parts of Asia, like the South Pacific, a lot of these classic rock bands still remain popular. And some of these bands signed record distribution deals in Europe and in South Pacific Asia to get them through the 90s, while grunge was big in North America. That happened to a few bands as well, which helped them bring them through the hurdle of the 90s, where alternative and grunge were popular more so than the classic melodic hard rock and metal. So that's basically what it is. Now, my own personal history with this music. Let me touch on that for a little bit as well. I wasn't fully aware of any kind of contemporary Christian music up until around 84. My parents, or maybe 83, 84 period. My parents gave me 2 cassettes, Christian Music Star, Farrell Choices. These were more pop, adult, contemporary. Through a few friends of mine and neighbors, they had some more of the rock and hard rock, such as Rez Dinga Band and we also had some local book and Bible store we went to, which I got exposed to some music there as well. So I bought some music off of those, bought some of the stuff, taped some of it off, and started collecting and building my collection from 85 onwards to what it is today. So that's pretty much my summary of the history and my own personal history of it as well. So back to you, Steve.
Yeah, thank you for that, mate. That was very, very interesting. I've learned something.
Yeah.
I just want to do. Sorry, Greg.
He's known as the professor of Christian rock.
I'd just like to say hello, Aaron, mate. How you doing, mate? Good evening to you. Aaron Metal Theologian's on.
I want to say one thing. Now, I want to get into the criticism of, like, say, rock music. And I was thinking about this, and this occurred to me the past few months there. If Christians popularized rock music before the mainstream did, and this is my opinion, I don't think it would be the church or the conservative church leaders would be as critical about it if we came up with the idea first, right? Even though the very roots and core of rock music was sort of there in the underground with the blues and the Negro spiritual charismatic type music. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. But the thing is, I want to reference a verse in the Bible. I just want to reference something. Paul wrote in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 9, I believe in verse 22. He said, "To the weak I became weak, that I might win the weak. I become all things to all men, that I might by all means save some." The point I want to make with that is that, when you become a Christian, do you stop being a plumber? Do you stop being a business owner? Do you stop being a accountant, a lawyer, a doctor? No. When these people became Christians in the late 60s, they already were good music. Music was one of their talents. So when you become a Christian, do you stop playing music that you played before you become a Christian? No. You just change your worldview and your lyrics to reflect who you are at that point in time.
Yeah,
that's what a point you want to make, right? I mean, use your talents to bring people in,
exactly.
Right? So
that's what I say to people. I said, God's not interested in what color T-shirt you wear or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or what music you hear. He's after more than that. But that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
But in my defense, I just want to say something, because if there's any Europeans watching or Brits, I have made quite big investigations into this. But a lot of the stuff we're going to discuss tonight was probably never released in the UK or in Europe in the early part of the 80s and probably 90s. I've only just found, I listen to the Soweto Gospel Choir. I've been aware of them, obviously being South African origin. But it's just a disclaimer in case any of the Europeans are watching and saying, well, why didn't I see these CDs? I've just checked on eBay today and it's huge money. And a lot of the stuff you'll see Greg and Mike hold up probably was never released in this country, or probably is being re-released recently. So there is companies now. I'll name one is Soundmass in the UK that you can buy stuff from. Mike's made me aware of one in Norway, no doubt he'll tell you. But you can get this stuff now. But back in the 80s, stuff like Barren Cross and that sort of stuff, I never came across it. And it was called white metal, and it was hard. I wasn't aware of it personally. I just want to make that disclaimer. But if you was in America and North America, this stuff would have been relatively easy for these lads to get. But just some reason, because they said, I was reading this poll about 5 or 6 years ago. They said apparently UK is the least Christian country on the planet for some reason. It's a shame, but there you go. And that's the way it is. And
I want to make a point too, is that a lot of the core members of bands are usually Christian.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bands out there who have Christians and non-Christians work together. Like, for example, you know about Sweetland, you know about with Michael Sweet and Jordan from Dokken.
yeah,
Megadeth has some members who are Christian, and Pelletary has some members who are Christians.
yeah,
So also too, the core members may be all Christian, like Petra, but they may hire non-Christians as session musicians to play on their albums as well. So the difference between Christian and by the way, not all Christian bands are good, not all Christian bands are bad. Not all mainstream artists are good, not all mainstream artists are bad in terms of holding up to the Bible. You get like, and this is not no way to diss or put down mainstream secular music, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that the line between Christian and mainstream is not like cut and dry, because I say Christian oriented because the focus is Christ. The main writers and the main focus and the production and the presentation is about Christ, right? But it's like a painting. When you have a painting, you don't know if that guy's a Christian or an atheist or the biggest pervert. A painting is a piece of art, is a piece of history, right? So just because something's not Christian, it doesn't mean necessarily bad, because we all bear Christ's image and wit, in the sense that we have his creative abilities. We can create something that just as he created everything that we see around us.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Creative endeavor you take an animal can't create the arts like we can. They can maybe create a dam like a beaver, but we have the ability to create an art like music, a magazine, a picture, a book. You know what I'm saying? So because we have that abstract thinking. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But so tonight, what we're talking about tonight is Christian CDs. And Mike, do you want to start with a CD?
Okay, I'm going to bring some honorable mentions. Will I show all of them, or will I just show one? And
Just show what you want, buddy. We're okay for time.
What's that?
Just do what you want to do, mate. We're okay for time.
Okay, so this is one here, Daryl Mansfield, Revelation.
Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 album. I
Right?
love that.
Yeah, 85. And by the way, Paul Gilbert from Mr. Big, he played guitar in this one. As you may know, Paul Gilbert was in Mr. Big. He played guitar solo on a couple songs in this one. And Daryl Mansfield, who plays harmonica, he also played harmonica on the Bon Jovi New Jersey album. Little bit of trivia for you. Daryl Mansfield, Revelation, good album. If you get your hands on this one, Greg.
Oh, sorry.
Steve.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Can I interject every time after you're done? But I just want Metal Theologian mentioned he liked the early Jesus movement music, but I'm wondering, he wrote CCM that he didn't care for, but I wonder if that meant, does he not like Stryper and all the heavy metal? And there's heavier bands than Stryper and that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just wondering if he wrote that all off, or just he meant the kind of syrupy, like Amy Grant, like the syrupy commercial poppy music that he didn't care for, which I didn't care for. I like the words, but I don't listen to it.
Yeah, I kind of like most of my stuff is from Petra into like thrash and power metal. I do like what you've heard of John LaFonte from Kansas, right? Not all his music is rock and hard rock. He got some Miller points in music as well. Another big good band is Whiteheart. They're more they range from light rock to hard rock in Whiteheart in their music, usually light rock to rock. So, but other than those artists, most of mine is from, say, Petra into like the stratosphere of heavy metal, the bulk of my music. So, yeah.
Okay, and I just want to say hi to Rocket Rod, who just said hello. He's listening as well, so that's
Hiya, Rod.
That's two people. That's twice as much as one. We're rolling.
It is, isn't it? It is.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, that Daryl Mansfield, by the way, I was an idiot because I was in California at a Christian bookstore, music store, and or was that Shout? Shoot, can't remember. anyway, I was too scared to go talk. They had a little table with an autograph session. Now I'm getting mixed up with Shout, but I was too scared. I was so stupid. I could have met the band. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah.
This is a band. This is a band from Sweden, Leviticus, Knights of Heaven. Now, if you like the band Europe, they're very similar.
Yeah, I heard some of them today. I was shocked they're Swedish. I thought they were American.
Yeah. That was produced by Dylan Jalafonte and came out in 1989. That was their last album before their guitar player Bjorn Stigson went on to form another band called XT. But this is their last album. Really good album. Song titles there. If you want to have a quick look there.
Oh,
But,
well, yeah.
Yeah. The focus a bit. But
We
great
would
album.
have come across that in the UK. We saw the odd Leviticus album because I just realised why
Yeah.
today. They're Swedish. I thought they were American band. Shows you how
Oh,
much I
they're from Sweden. Yeah. They were formed in 81.
Yeah.
And up to 1990, they put out 4 or 5 albums.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
well, speaking of the band Europe, I was at Sweden Rock, and they played near the end of the night. I think they were the last band of the night, and I don't really care about them that much. So I went home. I said, well, I'm going to go to bed, get some sleep. But they had a guest guitarist that night, and they did a live version of Lights Out. They had Michael Schenker play with them. Now, I sure was kicking myself the next day when I found out. But yeah, anyway, that's my little story about that.
Okay, Greg, you want to show a couple?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Just
show
roll
this.
show two for two for.
This is a shame to me. You know, if I was a millionaire and they had asked me, I would have paid for this, paid to videotape this concert, or not videotape, but to record this Christian rock festival they had.
Yes.
And holy cow, like it's an all-star lineup: Sacred Warrior, Saint, Barren Cross. I mean, Les Carlson of Bloodgood, Daniel Band, Fear Not, and so on. You can White Cross, I think, is there too, but it just makes it's almost not criminal. But I mean, I would have bought all the bands that I liked anyway. I would have bought their concert DVD without even thinking. But they do have fan footage of it. But it's, you know, of course, it's not the same because you don't get the sonic punch that you want. But
They actually showed a concert. They had one of the last concerts they had. They had both Christian and mainstream bands playing together. They had they had Sacred Warrior playing. Then they had Queensryche come on the same venue. Then he had I believe Quite Right played, and who else played? Rat played as well.
Yeah.
With White Cross, not same time now, but one after the other.
Wow.
They had mainstream and the Christian bands playing the same stage, the same venue.
Finally, that they used to do that back in Sunset Strip in California at the time.
Yeah.
But I sure haven't heard.
Rat was there, and Queensryche was there. I believe Quite Right. It's online somewhere. You can actually go online to research if you want to do a bit of research. But yeah, one of the most. Now I was going to go there back a year or two ago, but it didn't work out. But I would love to go catching those concerts. So yeah.
Okay, I guess I should show something. No, I'll say hi to Dan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Dan.
Well, anyway, I'll get this out of the way because you, Soldier 77 mentioned I might show these guys as honorable mentions, but yeah, the Huntingtons, I really love them.
Yeah.
Real Ramones sounding, but you don't get I want to sniff some glue lyrics. You get lyrics that aren't like that. But yeah, I totally recommend anyone who likes the Ramones should love these guys. And the trivia part is that this band played with Joey Ramone when Joey Ramone went solo. The band he had with him was the Huntingtons. So, and there's a song by the Huntingtons called "I Want to Be Joey Ramone," and I don't know, it's pretty funny. I really like them. And there's another as on the punk angle. Here's a Canadian punk band. I haven't heard this for quite a while. It's a bit more speedy punk than I like. I like kind of the melodic. But yeah, a band called Seed, and this is just a self-titled deal. Don't know anything else if they have any more stuff out. But yeah, you like your speedy melodic punk.
Now, speaking of Cliffy, I got the second Mainline Writers album. The second one. That's good. That's a good album. I like that one.
I like both those albums. Yeah.
So I got the second one on vinyl CD. The second one, yeah. All right. So let me show a couple.
This one.
Yes.
Hang on a sec, Greg. I'll just
Yeah.
that's you go,
Another
mate.
honorable mention, the mainline riders.
Yeah. That one there's going. Yeah. Also
That's
got
the kind
the
of rock it is. That's just a great picture. But yeah, I like that. This is more like a. That's not punk. They're more rock, kind of like a less heavy metal AC/DC style, but it's still good rock. I like it.
I find Mainline, that album that I have, reminds me of Bon Scott era AC/DC, like 70s AC/DC, the way he sings and the music. When I listened to it, I said that sounds like almost like Dirty Deeds or those kinds of music. That's what the album reminds me of. So
Yeah. No, I'm glad I have them for sure.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
no concert pictures, but yeah, Cliffy, and it's amazing to know that the legendary King Scott Waters knows Cliffy.
Right.
He knows him. I mean, that's like knowing. It's a pretty big name to me.
Now Cliffy used to do their mastering when they started reissuing stuff back around 2010-11 period. Like the Rocks Records Intense Millennium series, he did mastering for that before Rob Kawa came in the picture. So a lot of the early reissues, he did a mastering on those. Cliffy did actually. So here's the Leviticus vinyl I got. So
Hang on, mate. 2 seconds, please. That's it.
So there you have it.
Cheers.
What was that? Sorry.
Can you just show that album again, please?
Oh,
Cheers,
sorry.
thanks.
There
Thank
you go.
you.
Legs of Heaven, right with the red vinyl.
Yeah, I noticed the red vinyl bit. Wow.
Yeah. So
Now with Leviticus, are they? Would you compare them at all to Barnabas?
no, Barnabas to me is a bit more progressive. Barnabas is to me like a heavier side of Boston. Some of their stuff they have. Now, I haven't heard much Boston. From what I heard from Boston, like Barnabas to me is almost like some of Barnabas stuff got that Rush in their music. Almost like not quite the new wave Rush, but when Rush started using more keyboards in the early, like late 70s, early 80s. That's what Barnabas reminds me. I hear bits of that. Also, like Barnabas to me, the guitar tone, the Barnabas is like almost like a heavier version of Boston to me when I listen to him, right? And you put Lee Aaron or Nita Ford with the female lead singer, that's who or like Joan Jett got that vocal range. That's what the lead singer reminds me of, right? Nancy Jo Mann, right? I believe she passed away recently, if not mistaken. So yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's my turn. I'll put one on my. What I'll do is I'll just show one because you lads have obviously got more records and CDs than me.
Yeah.
And the one I picked out was this band called Crossforce. I don't know if any of you lads have heard of them.
Yeah, I heard them. Yeah.
I love
that.
that.
I heard of them.
A lot of demos, and it's really good stuff.
Yeah.
And I played some of this today. It's well worth it. I think I've got this one off Scott or Greg may have sent me. I can't remember, but it's definitely a good. I enjoyed it anyway.
And for some reason, it's always really cheap on Boone's Overstock or Rocks Records or wherever it was. But it's always like under $10, so it's an easy purchase.
Yeah.
And I really like that. That was almost made my honorable mention list, but I only have so much room. I mean, I could talk forever, but that's a really good. I like that album a lot.
Wow, yeah. Oh, fantastic. Now, if you want to go next again, Mike, because I say I've got about 10 records here, but I've got duplicates and a couple of records by the same band. So, as you say, you guys got more records than us.
Let me go ahead now.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm going to show a couple of honorable mentions. These are more into the commercial hard rock vein. There you have Guardian.
Yeah, I think I've got that somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good album.
Oh, that didn't make the top 10. Oh.
And the good live shot with the two guys are Tony Pelacos and Jamie Rowe. Right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've got that album.
Yeah.
But I think some of them have got muddled up from the other collection part.
Yeah. That's a great album.
I love that album.
Yeah. I think I like that one better than Miracle Mile. Miracle Mile after this one, I think it's a bit better to me.
And what about the first one? Do you like it more than the first one too?
I find the first one side one is a bit weaker. Side two, the expanded version that came out a few years back with the extra songs from California Metal. The second side to me has got like the songs are better when you include those like 12 or 14 songs or extra two. When you include those extra like 2, 3, 4 songs, to me that the second side is better than the first side, but has its moments, right? So yeah.
And
Now
just,
Jeff
I'm
McCormick. Sorry, go ahead.
just to cut in, just when I like to comment when the people comment on their, I can see Zulu puts up the comments on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting because nobody that I know of knows Barnabas except like a Scott or you guys, but not people I know around my city. Like no one ever knows about Barnabas, so that's very cool that Dan knows that band.
Yeah, I don't have any Barnabas, but yeah, they were. If you were to list like 5 or 6 early Christian hard rock metal bands, Barnabas, Leviticus, Rez, Jerusalem, and 100% Proof, and they're like the 5 or 6 very early ones, like in the early 80s, anywhere from 81 till 83. They're early bands. Now Barnabas also was one of those bands started off in the 70s as well, mid to late 70s. They came out of the Jesus movement as well, the guys in Barnabas. I figure make that point as well. So
yeah.
And on this comment here from Rocket Rod, I know the first Mastodon album and I really liked it, but I don't think I've ever heard Mastodon 3. So Soldier 77, how much
I
you?
forgot to bring up the Mastodon as an honorable mention because actually Mastodon, Kerry Livgren from Kansas contributed to those albums as well. And Dave Amato of Argo Speedwagon, also who played guitar, he's also sings on that album.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And I'd like to make a point. I heard John LaFonte. John LaFonte is good friends with some of the classic bands like Tommy Shaw of Styx and Dave Amato of Argo Speedwagon. So John LaFonte is friends with those guys. Apparently, Dave Amato, who's not known to be a Christian, Dave Amato actually asked John, "Did I sing that part right? Did I sing it with conviction?" And John said, "Yes, Dave, you did great. You did awesome." And Dave Amato sang on a more blatantly Christian songs on those Mastodon albums. Like Right Hand was one he sang on, and Love Will Survive. Well, Love Will Survive is more of a general love song. But on the song, if you go to Mastodon, click on Right Hand, that's Dave Amato singing. And it's about a person standing before the throne of Christ. So that's a mind blower there. And he's not even a Christian. I don't know if he's not a Christian, but John said himself that he don't know spiritual condition. So I don't know if he is or isn't, and we don't know. So, but like I said, Dave Amato of Arrow Speedwagon sang on those. Oh, he also sang on the song Glory Bound. It was about the rapture. So he sang on that song and Right Hand. Those were off the first album. It's Young Out There. So a little bit of trivia for you.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Did you, Greg?
No, I don't know much of the background from Mastodon. I think, was it Dennis Cameron, a Canadian, and he was in that band?
Nope, Angelica.
Oh, Angelica. Okay, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Very similar sounding, at least the earlier stuff that I remember.
Yeah. Now, Tony Colaco, the Guardian, also play guitar on the Mastodon albums as well, the second one. So.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, do you want me to go
Yes,
down?
please, Greg.
Yep.
Okay, we go from. Now we're getting into the tougher, depressing that I can't fit 15 into 10, but that's the way it goes. I can't believe I'm leaving these ones out.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't make it. Oops, I just dropped the cover, but yeah. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. And the sound quality is just supersonic, clear, hair metal era, like Rat, Round and Round, like that type of just crunchy, perfect guitar tone.
Yeah.
And I don't know, legendary King Scott Waters must have been in on the graphics on this because you actually get to see the band and lyrics. Well, actually, I just watched a video of Soldier 77 showing this album, but I'll show it again.
Yeah.
And just as was Soldier 77's channel, he did about an 8-9 minute video on the Daniel Band because he found some in the wild, which is impossible.
I know.
I saw that.
Oh, you watched it too? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the vinyl album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I
Yeah.
didn't comment, mate, 'cause I got a phone call. I think it was because what happens to me, I get a lot of phone calls, and I had a phone call. I think during the I saw you hold that up, then I got interrupted by a phone call, and I had to deal with something. So yeah, I did see your video though.
okay, I've mentioned this one before anyway.
Yeah,
And I guess
I've
I'll show-
actually heard of that band.
Oh yeah, they've got two
Yeah.
albums. The first one's a bit too it's more commercial, a little bit more keyboard sound, but here
Yeah,
it's like the guitar. Whoever is in charge of the guitars on this album said, "We want a guitar album. Don't soften it."
Now,
with the
Clarkovision likes the first album better than that one.
Oh,
I've heard her
okay.
say
What
that
about
she likes the it won't be long. She likes that one better than that second one. She doesn't like that second one at all. So,
what about you? You could be the deciding vote.
is iffy.
Joe right on the fence on this show.
Yeah, it's on the come. I'm on the fence, right? Because they put those two albums. Another one in 1999 was not as good as the first two, so it's hard to say. Like they're both good. They have their moments. Now, Lenny Cardolo used to be in House of Lords and Gearfria. He played guitars on both albums, right? At some, actually no, he played guitar. No, he played guitar on both. Ken Taplin and Chuck. I know we mix up the Quiet Riot bass player, Chuck Wright or Chuck King. What's the name of the guitar player? The other guitar player.
Chuck King, yeah.
Chuck King, yeah. So Ken Taplin and Chuck King are the main guitar players, but they all have other guest guitar players. And Lenny Cardolo was one of them, right? Because Dan Cardolo became a Christian through Ken Taplin. And Lenny Cardolo is now doing mission work through music in Afghanistan as we speak. So he kind of fell off the radar. Don't do music anymore. Sip in as outreach to, I'm not sure if it's mission work or he's teaching music in Afghanistan, of all places, which I don't know why, but must be some kind of mission work he's doing. That's what Lenny Cardolo is creating right now. So, yeah.
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna finish off my honorable mentions for sake of time here. So you all got, some of you guys know these albums. Holy Soldier.
Yeah, I think I've got one of their albums. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, gotta mention these guys. Messiah Prophet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Messiah Prophet didn't make the cut. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Right?
That's
Original Pure Metal Records version.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I had to buy one in Sweden because I could never find that CD. But when I was at Sweden Rock, they have huge merch tables. It's ridiculous. It's the greatest. But yeah, they had that album for sale, and I bought that.
And of course, then we have The Guardian on vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Orange vinyl. Then we got The Holy Soldier, right? Yellow
Yeah.
vinyl. And this is the original Messiah Prophet Pure Metal albums. And right?
Yeah.
So there you have it.
I even sent Steve an hour ago or something. I sent him the last song on that album. Just
Yeah,
because-
yeah, that one you said that started like Beyond the Realms.
yeah, just a really
Yeah, I
slow-
was listening to that. It does have it's hard to listen to the first time. It's a good song, but it sort of does change, keeps changing tempo a lot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and Metal Theologian, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, show the drummer again up close. Yeah, it is a really unique
Yeah.
that's funny he brought that up. I noticed that when I bought the album.
Yeah.
Just
Now the bass player Joe Shirk looks like he's down in business. The bass player, right? He almost looks like a bass version of Mick Mars the way he looks there, right? To me, it reminds me of. But yeah, the drummer is this guy here, David Thunder, right?
I can't remember the name, but yeah.
Has he got a mustache? That'll drive Aaron crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, Jerry Mercer, the drummer for April Wine for all those decades, had a similar look to that, but he didn't have any facial hair or anything, but just a big, strong, bald guy that intimidating looking, but what a fantastic drummer.
Wow. Yeah.
1 second, guys. I got someone's at the door here. 1 second. Huh?
Okay, mate.
Well, we just lost the brains of the outfit, so now what are we supposed to do?
I don't know.
That's why he's the professor of Christian rock. I told you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start in some.
You guys keep talking. I got to find one of my cats. Just keep talking. I'm back in 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, then I'll go to here. I'll just show the other ones that were in consideration but never made the list.
Right, that's because I haven't got many, you see, so I didn't have many. Oh yeah, I think I've got that one.
Okay, I believe this is a King Scott Waters.
Yeah,
No nickel metal on the back.
yeah,
They're the classic heavy metal sound. I like that emblem too.
yeah.
There we go, Flying V.
Yeah,
Yeah, King Scott sure would be good on this show too, wouldn't he?
yeah, you should. You might be watching.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was I believe King Scott sent me this in tink, 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 the mail.
The mail, yeah.
Sorry, I had to get that in there. That's the greatest words in the history of the internet, as far as I'm
It isn't it? The mail.
Let's see what else we've got here in the. Well, this is Bloodgood Singer. We're going to talk about Bloodgood later, but yeah,
We certainly are.
a few people I've heard talk about this really like this album. I've only given it a quite short listen so far. Oh, Angelica's Greatest Hits would be a decent album. I've only heard the first album, and I did like it, but I don't know what the rest. If it's all similar, even had a Whitesnake bend to it a little bit, if I think of it, but I haven't heard it for a long time. But yeah, that's cool. Dan knows stuff like that. And here's the singer, Les Carlson. Sorry, but yeah, that's amazing. Dan knows he's been.
Are you still at your honorable mentions, Steve? Greg?
Oh, I was just quickly filling
Yeah.
ones that didn't quite make the honorable mentions. I just showed.
Oh, yeah.
But now I can rattle through my honorable mentions, like you say, in the interest of time. I've got.
That Les Carlson one's awesome. I love the album. I got that too.
Okay, well, here's three that didn't make my. I can't believe I did not include this because I know that's new to you, Soldier 77, but I love this album. I had that since it came out. And because I love Rush, but I only like the early Rush.
Yeah.
This takes off after 2112. It doesn't go any later to where they switch gears and every keyboard foot pedals. And this is the 2112 era Rush. I love this. Like,
almost like the
tracks I didn't care for so much, but.
Right, something like the Canadian band's not Canadian.
Pardon me?
You're almost like the Canadian band that's not Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, because they sound Canadian. They sound like close to Rush, a little bit of Triumph, right? So.
Yeah, right. Those are the three that would be all like Rush. Yeah. This is new, but it's old. But it was redone. They originally did it years ago with an electronic drummer, and but then now a few years ago, I can't remember when it was, but Robert Sweet of Striper is the drummer on this now, and King Scott just sent me this, and I really like it a lot. But I'll go for that. But then the last one's going to make you really mad, Soldier 77. You're probably going to hang up on me.
And call me Mike. Call me by my name, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got that one.
They didn't make the top 10. I don't know how.
I've got that. I'm not saying much more.
I don't know. This list was too hard. It just got ridiculous. Yeah. It was making me mad because I switched them. And I thought, well, I can't spend a whole week switching it. So I finally said, that's it, and drew the line. But yeah, Sacred Warriors on that A list for me.
Yeah. There's two I forgot to bring with me was Macedon. This is Young Out There. We mentioned before the first album, Commit in '89, great album, and Joshua. Intense Offense, Commit in '88. That's one Rob Rock sang on. Interesting story about that one. There's two bands going on that Rob Rock was involved in, Impel Terry and Joshua. Now, as you may know, Rob Rock and Chris Impel Terry started Impel Terry back in the mid-'80s, right? They're in a band together called Vice. Before that was a basic bar band. So when Impel Terry came out with a 4-song EP, was a Black Impel Terry album in '87. I guess he was assumed that Rob was going to sing on the next album, right? So Rob got involved with Joshua Parecchia of Joshua to sing on Intense Offense. And Dear Dirks, who produced for Scorpions, flew the guys out to Germany, West Germany, to produce the Intense Offense album on RCA Records in Germany, right? And they were a long time doing the album. So Christian Pelletier had put the band together because he contracted with Relativity Records to do the Stand Line album, came out in '88. So you got Graham Bonnet to sing on the album, who's with Rainbow. You got Pat Troplay of Mr. Big, who would become part of Mr. Big, and some other guys. So that
Pat
became,
Thrall? Sorry, did you say Pat Thrall? Or
no,
did you
Pat Troplay, Tropey. He joined Mr. Big, right?
Okay.
So because he had to do an album for Relativity Records, so he was stuck, right? So Rob Rock was doing Joshua Intense Offense on our Dear Dirk studio, and next door to when Josh was putting out that album, next door the Scorpions were doing their album, or except one of the two bands, except was doing their album, and so was Scorpions. Because I think he was doing like 2 or 3 bands at one time in the same studio. So they're going back and forth and watch what each other was doing, I think, in studio. But you can go online and look at all that through interviews with Joshua Parecchia. Anyway, so in Pelletier Stand Line became that album. Then he had Intense Offense came out same year, 1988. So bit of a reference point for you. So.
Oh, fair play, because I've got I can't pronounce it, Imperialetti album somewhere. I think I'm on the right tracks, but just check. Accept have got a new album. That's going to be my release of the year. That is, they've got a new album coming out this year. I've read, whether it's true or not, but they're a phenomenal band. Yeah, but I've got one in that I can't pronounce. I'm even going to try it. It's somewhere. But wow, that was an education. Yeah, learned something.
Yeah. And about in Pelletier, we were talking about Pelletier the other week, but the song I couldn't remember that I totally love is called Rat Race.
Yes.
Holy cow, is that one of the best songs in rock history?
that guy shreds. Christian Pelletier. He like just blows your mind stuff he comes up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Should I just?
Yeah.
I think I've finished my. We can get to the top 10 now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg. Do yours first.
Okie dokie.
Do a couple albums or 1 or 2, whatever you want to do.
I'll do one. Okay, made a mess here now, but the other honorable mention. You're going to be mad that I didn't put this in the top 10 as well.
That's good album.
Too bad. There's just too many.
That might be my second favorite album, Bloodgood. I think I showed another Bloodgood album, but that is a good album. Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite by far. Yeah. But everyone's different. But this one kept getting bumped. I thought it was going to be in the top 2, 3, but it kept getting bump. And I thought, well, it's got to at least be in the top 10. So it's going to be.
Oh.
And is Intent.
That's a good album. Yes.
Yeah. You know, they have their albums aren't all like AC/DC where it's all the same song 12 times, which I love. That's what I like. I don't want slow song. I don't really like variety. So, but if I could pick out the best 3 or 4 songs off of every Res Band album, then I'm going to have a great hard rock album. But the song Military Man is the song I picked.
I was watching that on YouTube earlier, Greg.
Oh, Military Man?
No, that album I was watching, because it's on YouTube. You can actually watch it. And it starts with Military Man. It's got another song about, I forgot what it's called, because they're talking about apartheid in South Africa. And the third one is called Attention, I think.
Oh, that's on a different album, but Attention is next to, that's probably my second favorite song, because that was another opening track.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's just like Highway Star, Deep Purple, or Burn. It's just like it's perfect, a perfect opener for a hard rock album, Attention and this. But I didn't like the sound quality as much on Attention. I like this has the meaty, I don't know if you could say more 70s sound or something, but the song wasn't 70s sound. But,
the song Attention, to me, just to let you know, Attention was on Hossies. They came in 84, right? Now, I find between say 82 to 84, there was very few Christian bands that will be considered like power metal, like in the vein of Iron Maiden or Priest. But Attention, you take Attention, compare it to Painkiller in terms of heaviness. Both are comparable. Attention is probably one of the heaviest songs in the early days of Christian hard rock metal.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get much heavier than that. Besides, if you get heavier in tension, you're going to thrash metal, in my opinion. That's a heavy sound, because most of Rez's songs kind of dance between like rock, hard rock, and like little bit of metal, like little lean towards metal. But that song Attention, that's heavy metal. That's a no, like ballsy, bombastic heavy metal song, Attention. And the thing I want to make a point too is that I think the Bible is fertile ground for heavy metal, especially when you get into spiritual warfare, like Ephesians. You know, I mean, you take the stuff going on in the Old Testament, you take stuff like the end times. That's fertile ground for heavy metal, as far as I'm concerned. What Christ went on the cross. I mean, that's like, I mean, you take stuff like you take like bands like Slayer and Army, what they write about, and you take that and transpose that and add Christian lyrics to it. Fertile ground for heavy metal, for the Bible, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
right.
Like good versus evil, that kind of thing. So,
yeah. And one of my favorite, I think it's the last psalm. It says, "Praise God" on the cymbal, praise Him on high cymbals, which means heavy metal to me. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't always.
I want to make a point too, where, so you take the early days of Christianity, the early days. We're talking about persecution under Diocletian and Nero, right? If you go through the Book of Acts, I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. And when people were supporting each other, if you read through the Book of Acts, what I'm in the process of doing right now, and how they're supporting each other in the early days during persecution, right? And you take you can, like, these people were Jews. They became Christians. The first Christians were actually Jews, right? And you take their culture back then in that day, right? They had lively music, like, you know, Middle Eastern lively music, right? When Christianity through the years came over to Europe, right? You had that Methodist slow music, right? Yeah. And then you came over to North America when, like I said before, when you had your charismatic revival at hippie movement, these early bands, they used a talent to play rock music or folk music or whatever music, right? And the reason why people were critical of rock music back then is because they were influenced by Western Christianity, European Christianity, with the slow hymns and slow music, right? But if you go back to early days, and you mentioned, Greg, about Psalms 150, if you look at the ancient Jews and the early Christians, they had Middle Eastern lively music as their form of music back then, right? Yeah. And even the 15 and 1600s, back 400 years ago, people were debating back then what was worldly, what was secular. They were having debates back then, right? Because they were taking music sung in bars and saloons and writing the same kind of music, writing Christian lyrics to it, became a lot of great hymns. How great thou art. Nothing but the blood, other ones like that. They're using the same music, and they're putting, and even back then they're debating what was sacred, what was worldly, Yeah. And to me, that's the Western influence of Christianity. And have you ever heard a guy named Michael Heiser? He's into the spiritual realm. He got books about the spiritual realm, right? He passed away, but he said that when you read the Bible, you have to read like a back then. You've heard of like the first temple, second temple, third temple, right? Yeah. Back when the second temple got destroyed in 70 AD, right? Give or take, when it was prophesied when Christ on earth that the temple can be destroyed, but not one brick standing. He said that you got to read the Bible from the perspective of a Jew living in the Middle East in the Second Temple period, or before Second Temple period. Get whatever Western views you have, get rid of it. Read for what it is in text, right? And a lot of these people critical of rock music are doing that, not reading the music, reading the book as it was meant to be read in that period.
I agree with that, yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So, because that's our Western mindset, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And there's another scripture that got me into Christian rock because some people were telling me, no, it's not good or whatever. I was hearing that. But it says, it's not what goes into the man that defiles him, it's what comes out. Yeah. So you can tell me, go murder my neighbor, go murder my neighbor, go murder 1,000,000 times, but it's not what's coming into me that's going to defile me. It's if I go do it.
Yeah, so, true that is.
Yeah,
my answer is also the Bible says the only judge in life is God, and everybody gets judged. And it's not up to me to judge. So we're all going to be judged at the end of it. So that's why I'm not judgmental about anything. You know, and I live life the way I want to live it. I don't judge anybody else because at the end of the day, there's only one judge, and he's up there.
Yeah, but I can still give you the back of my hand if you start stepping out of line there, Buster.
Sure can.
Do you want to get into the Greg? You start. I lost track now. Greg, have you started? Yeah, you start. Have you started with your top 10 yet?
Yeah, great.
Res Band was number 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me do a couple of mine. Oh, I want to ask you a question. How many albums you have in your collection right now that are Christian oriented, or how many bands or albums?
How many do I have?
Yeah, roughly.
Physical copies, like lots. Trouble is, I've given them lots of away. So I don't. I mean, through the years, how many I've heard and had.
But how many do you currently have right now?
30, 40, something like that. Not very many, because I just because I like passing it along, and then I too cheap to pay the $20-$30 again to rebuy it. So especially if it's on YouTube and stuff, it's just, and I'm married, I don't have, you know, you just whatever. But that's why. But I know through the years I've had them, and then
yeah. How about you, Steve?
Approximately get a shoebox, a trainer box full, about 30.
Okay.
And I reckon I say about 25 because there's 4 or 5 of them definitely ain't Christian.
Okay.
And it's approximately, give or take, about 25. Maybe another 3 or 4 in that vinyl.
I got about probably 85% Christian oriented, 15% not really Christian oriented, or in the outer bounds of Christian oriented, like Sweet Lints, Mars Project Driver, which was the Tommy Aldridge of Whitesnake and Rob Rock and Rudy Zarzo were Quite Right. That album, right? You know, they're sort of the outer rim of the Christian, because that's the album that Rob Rock put out before he became a Christian. So yeah.
Oh, I've got a question I wanted to ask earlier, and I've always wanted to ask. I've never bothered looking it up. I know Rob Rock sang on Axel Rudy Pell and so on and so forth, but is he the same Rob Rock that produced all these albums? Because I just watched an hour documentary about Little Mountain Sound in Vancouver, where they recorded AC/DC and Metallica and all. It was a really great documentary, but it's Rob Rock. He had long blonde hair, but I don't know if it's
different guy.
Rob Rock who's the singer too.
That's Bob Rock. And
that's Bob Rock.
Is Rob Rock.
There you go. There you solved my.
I think there's another one in Vancouver named Bruce Fairbairn. Bruce Fairbairn?
Yeah, from Loverboy fame. And...
Yeah, he did some producing in Vancouver too as well, right?
Yeah. That's Bob Rock. There we go. That's
Yeah. Anyway, I'll start with mine. Now, with this band, I include 2 albums because they're 2 different eras. Here we have Petra, More Power to You, A2.
Yeah.
Yeah, great album. Greg Voltzman is an awesome singer. Then we have On Fire.
Yeah, I was playing that earlier.
Yeah, with John Slitch on vocals.
Yeah.
2 great albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is more like a Journey, Foreigner type of sound.
Right.
It's more like Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, you know, that kind of sound to it, right?
There's a good song on that, but I'll talk about it later when I hold mine up.
Yeah. So
do you have a favorite Petra song? Favorite Petra song?
My favorite one on this one will be Second Wind, the second track. And to me, this one would be Hit You Relive, the second track on this one.
Yeah, I love that album, and that should have been one of my honorable mentions too. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Tull knows about Petra. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That was
I like Petra as well. I've got, because they're very, very hard and rare to get hold of here in the UK. Yeah. And I got my hands on 2 of them. I've got a load of them there. I think they're going to the main collection. But friends of mine send me them because they find them in markets or thrift shops or whatever. But the chances of you getting a Petra record or CD in a British record store, it'd be an incredibly expensive deal because, I say, they're very, very rare over here. You don't come across them much.
Yeah.
But we'll be talking about that On Fire album later. I've given you a clue because that's one of the ones I'm going to hold up later. That's sort of on me high up in my list. But
after the mid-90s, to me, Petra got a bit spotty. I guess a lot of bands got spotty after the mid-90s, like same as Def Leppard, right? So I find the best pair of Petra to me is from like late 70s up until around 95. And to me, that's when they had their best music. Kind of like Def Leppard. When they, from the first album up to my retroactive, same kind of thing, but maybe Def Leppard, right? I can give or take anything kind of came after that. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting album I've never heard of, because I would like to hear their older stuff redone and make a little heavier, beefier sound.
Yeah,
So,
in
I'm gonna
20,
write that down.
yeah, when he had a Beat System lineup, which is John Lara on keys, Mark Kelly on bass, or at least for a little while, at least anyway. Greg Volz, Bob Hartman, and drums was Louis Weaver for a little while. They put that 2010, 2011 Back to Rock. In 2017, with a bit of a lineup change, they came out with Back to Rock 2 in 2017. And both these albums, for the bulk of these albums, were Petra re-recorded classics. So
stuff off of Not of This World and the one you showed and like that era.
yeah, and also they did a version of Dream On by Aerosmith, because one of Greg Volz's solo albums had a version of Dream On his one of his solo albums. The lead singer Greg Volz, so they put out that song on the second Back to Rock 2 as well. So,
and I did get to see Petra back in about 85 or 86.
Yeah, I saw him in 97. Yeah.
When?
1997.
Oh, 97. Oh, okay. Oh, was it kind of rocky or was it keyboardy then?
No, it was rock. It was the We Need Jesus tour, which is their second Praise album, and it wasn't the like the classic lineup. They had new members, a couple new members at that point in time, but still, it was a pretty good show. They mostly played everything from saying, I think from 87 to 97. Most of this material came from those period, and the one classic song, Judas Kiss, from 82. More power to you. So, if my memory is correct, so.
Mike, Tal's just asked a question. Wasn't Petra's lead singer in Head East?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. If you read about John Schlitt's testimony, back in the 70s, he was, of course, a lot of rock bands into the drug scene with Head East, right? So he had when he left the band Head East, he was to the point of suicide. John Schlitt was. He was thinking ways of killing himself. The wife came to him and said, "Didn't you promise me to go to church tomorrow morning and see the pastor?" "Oh yeah, I did." So he went to saw the pastor, and the pastor was one of those, in your face, telegated pastors. Anyway, so John obviously got saved. Anyway, so when Greg Volz was leaving Petra in the mid 80s, they were having other differences of music, or for personal reasons, he left Petra. They were going through, vocal to get his lead singer. To me, like when you change lead singer, like Petra, two bands changed lead singers mid 80s, Van Halen and Petra, and that was just, to me, I mean, we all know about Van Halen, but Petra's going through the same kind of, who gets lead singer. Josh Schlitt was the only guy they auditioned for lead singer. They auditioned nobody else, right? And Bob Hartman knew that he was the one that he was supposed to get for Petra. He didn't audition anybody else. He was one he was going to choose, right? And the rest is history, right? So, so he joined him, and also too, their live album, Captain Time and Space, which came in '86, which is the Beat System tour. They were supposed to put out two live albums, one with John Schlitt singing the classic songs and Greg Volz.
Oh.
They decided not to put out the John Schlitt's version because it may confuse the fans, and they decided to only put the Greg Volz version that we all know is out there, right? I think they're supposed to put out two albums, or maybe both singing on parts of the one live album. I'm not sure how it went, but because John Schlitt was also singing on the album, singing for the band before they put out the first album, Back to Street. I think he started singing with them in early '86. I think, because when they put the album I believe was released in July of '86 or early '86. Greg Volz was already gone from the band at that point in time, right? Because that album was taped, I believe, in '85, in summer or late '85. Greg Volz was already gone from the band when that album was released, because he had first solo album released in Rivers Rising '86. Greg Volz. So. But from my memory serving me correctly, you're supposed to put up two versions of live albums, one with John, one with Greg. But it didn't pan out at the end, or I think they thought we would confuse the bands, confuse the fans. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. Well, do you want me to go? But as I say, mine are not in particular order because I'm not experienced enough to, sort of like I went for Striper. It's my number 10.
Okay.
A live album. You got like a cross section of their work, and you've got this album. This album. Goddamn Evil. It's one of their recent albums. I think it's the second or third from last.
Yeah.
It's not a bad album, not as good as the early stuff. And this is a band I'm getting into slowly. But I've got this live album as well, and there's some good stuff on there.
That's good live album.
Yeah. But that's my little picks.
So you don't rate it? Do you rate it just a tiny bit below because these last few Striper albums there's the classic era of those early songs that we're going to have a show on with Mega Jeff McCormick next week.
Yeah, I started listening to them, Greg. I was listening to one today. What's he got? Is it Hell with the Devil? Something around about 85. And it was better than that. I liked it better than that sort of later stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's hard because I don't know as much as you do, but I like some of the songs. There's some 3 really good songs off that early one I was listening to today. I liked some stuff. It sounded a couple of songs a bit Black Sabbathy. One was like the same sort of rhythm as Children of the Grave. But yeah, it's a decent album. But I like the earlier stuff better, if you know what I mean. I think it was Hell to the Devil. I like that one a bit better, the earlier stuff.
That's super interesting because we're hearing it from virgin
Yeah,
ears. For me, I'm kind of stubborn because I almost every band I like the early stuff. All the early stuff's the best. Aerosmith, blah, blah. So yeah, it's just so I'm always judging the newer stuff against the older stuff. But to you, they're both all new. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is today. But with this new stuff, especially where metal's concerned, I think they're trying to appease everybody now. It doesn't work. All the stuff I bought last year, I only bought one new release this year. The one I bought so many the other year, and they're trying to appease to the thrash, the power metal people, the black, all on one CD, and they're sort of instead of coming up with a decent riff, they're sort of diversifying too much. You know what I mean? I don't know if modern Christian metal's doing it, but a lot of the records I buy, I just don't enjoy them. You know what I mean? Because you get so many different styles. I just want to listen to them, like their style, if you know what I mean. They're just sort of like appeasing to everybody else. Oh, this will appease the thrash people. It's all corporate. It's all money making. You know what I mean?
Well,
I just stick to the old school style bands, like any old bands from back in the day or current bands putting out with the old school type music. So, yeah.
But with the new Striper, Sorry's a big song for them. Yeah. But for the newer stuff,
or the song Chicken and the Crust. Get it?
What was that? It got cut off.
Chicken and the Crust. Chicken and the Crust.
Oh, that song. Yeah. Oh. I don't like that. But yeah, for the later Striper albums, I'll take the last one they just did. The Final Battle is my favorite out of the.
Yeah, I haven't got that one yet.
Yeah, that one to me sounded the most like Soldiers Under Command and In God We Like the early. But that was just me. Some other people didn't think the same, but I just thought now we're getting really into the focusing into the early era. But
all right, on the show. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, if you had more to add, that's fine. I was just going to go to number 9 now. But if you have something to
add, Jerusalem Warrior.
Okay, I saw them live actually back in the mid '80s during when that live album came out. The Live in the USA, I think it was called, or something. But anyway, that one.
There's a Swedish version, Krigsman. Is it reissue?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the band Jerusalem is one of those. There's a back of it here. So, but now if you like Jerusalem to this day, they still play songs from this album. Now, there's a couple of bands that are early days of Christian hard rock. And then, by the way, for reference point, this one came out in '82. The English version, the Swedish version came out in '81. As a reference point too, bands like to me, Rez and Jerusalem, they sound a lot heavier live than and Jerusalem more so than Rez. If you listen to Jerusalem on tape and listen to a live album, a lot heavier. I got 3 live albums. One is In His Majesty's Service came in '85.
That's the one, yeah.
There's one called Paren Svenska, which came out in the late '90s. It's a double live album. And the other one I got a while back for Christmas in the Mail to commit 2006 when they celebrated 30 years as a band. It's a live album. That's on DVD. The other 2 is on audio. But great live albums. And they sing both. You'll see some is sung in their native tongue Swedish, others sing in English. But like if you ever want to capture a good live band that's solid and on point, they're a great live band. I know the Ulf Christensen, the main guy, he has a son play backup guitar too. On that 30-year anniversary live album, they went through 3 lineup changes: a bass, drums, and keys. And they're both drummers, bass players, and keyboard players playing on stage on that concert. They had 2 drum kits and 2 bass players, and believe me, both keyboard players same time on stage. It's only a small stage. It's online. I got the DVD for it. If you get a chance to watch it online, Jerusalem, the 2.5-hour concert. Man, what a concert! You should do yourself a favor and watch the live. It's awesome. So,
wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Sorry, after you, Mike.
Well, let me go ahead again.
Yeah. Now, whose turn is it? Yours, Mike? Or sorry.
Okay, want me to go ahead again?
Yes, please.
Okay, Greg knows this one.
Hang on a sec. Just do the buttons.
So is this your number 8 now or number 9? Was Jerusalem number 9?
There's no. I don't have mine in any order. I'm just going from softest to hardest, but.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, Snap.
So
That's an Unreal album, yeah.
this is one
I've
of my
got
favorite.
that. I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Greg have entertained us or educated us on Daniel Band many times. So, yeah. There you go. Church,
I was saying
church
it now.
ninja.
That's still my concert shirt from about 80.
Yeah.
Right from the Darkness tour anyway, whatever year that was. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, and I had Daniel Band. I'll be showing them later anyway. So yeah.
And me.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. But yeah, I wanted to ask you about to me with Daniel Band, there's the first 3 albums.
Yeah.
And then they have the 2 after that. I always put them separate. I don't know if you ever thought them as separate, like those first 3 and then the little bit different sound in the later. Because I know you just mentioned on your latest video about how Running Out of Time took you a while to get into it. And that was same as me. Those last 2, there was some songs I gave 10 out of 10s, but after that, I just didn't sound the same as the early 3. But I don't know. Did you separate those?
Running Out of Time to me is better than Rise Up.
Okay.
Back then, I thought was her weakest album. Back when I first got in the '80s, right? And then when I got the album, I bought the CD back, the reissue back around 2010, 2011. And it seemed to me the past couple years, I like it much better. I don't know, I guess it takes a long time for certain albums to click. Right? Close your hand. Thanks. So, like Running Out of Time, Rise Up, I found Rise Up is a much stronger album. Now, Running Out of Darkness, I think, is her best album, in my opinion, or my favorite album. I should say the best album because they're all good.
Which one did you say is your best?
Running Out of Darkness. Running from the Darkness, sorry. Yeah, it's probably their best one. That's the album I discovered them on.
You knew take a listen here. We went on for an hour.
Okay, it's not good. So, sorry.
I'm married. I know how it works.
So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Tal. Cheers, buddy.
Oh, yeah, thanks. But yeah, the Daniel Band I love. Yeah. Oh, there we go. We're going to Rez now.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if Aaron's married too. But we're the king. Don't worry.
So Red Band, as Greg mentioned, I figured flash something up real quick. So.
Oh, sorry, I'll just put you on do the screen. Sorry about this.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Sorry. Between Heaven and Hell came out in '85. That's one of the albums I discovered of mine. Great album.
I always loved the album cover of that.
Yeah.
So what's the worst Christian band? Was there ever a disco one? Because I'll vote for that one if there's one that sounds like the Village People.
To me, in hard rock, metal, or in any kind of music, there's always a cheese factor in terms of both mainstream and Christian, in my opinion, right? Especially when to me in the late '80s when mainstream music got really, really glammy. Certain bands got really, when glam kind of got, went beyond what should have went. So, Greg, do you think there's any cheesy Christian metal bands out there, in your opinion, Greg?
Not really. No, none that really made me think that way. No.
I just don't buy it in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? What you think is cheesy, what's not cheesy, right? So,
But none where I've gone, I just can't stand this. Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. If I hear that, I'm going to shoot myself, So it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of it in the UK, what I call really bad Christian music. But it wasn't rock or metal. It was this stuff they used to play on TV on a Sunday or on a Saturday, and it was just terrible. And you used to get a bloke in a suit, and it was bad. And that's what people like. They don't want to hear the original artist sing it. If you got what I call a surrogate, and he used to sing it, and he was wearing a suit and a bow tie, and on a Sunday he'd start breaking out and singing the Christian music, and that was a turn-off factor for me.
I think Mel Theologian thinks most of our music is cheesy.
Well, I don't know if he's heard all these bands, though. He probably hasn't heard before coming up with Jesus.
Yeah. Like I said, it's all matter of opinion, what you think, right? So, like I said, about Day and Band Reign of Darkness, it took that for years to click with me, right? Like, it took me, 30 years or more?
Yeah.
And now I think it's one of the best albums. So, so it's in the eye of the beholder. So.
Battle Cry, the worst?
That's that's the band Battle Cry. Okay, yeah.
Oh, the band? Oh, I thought it was going to be the song.
No, there's a band called Battle Cry. I don't have. I heard of them, right? So.
Oh, no, I haven't heard of them. Okay, I was almost starting to get mad.
Yeah.
That's because my next choice was Messiah Prophet, Master of the Metal, and it has a song called Battle Cry on there. Funny timing of all things, but Voice That's Calling, the last song on that album, is my favorite, though. Those two together just sound like you can't listen to one without the other, just like Electric Eye and the first two off of Streaming for Vengeance. My brain's not working, but you have to Hellion and Electric Eye, you've got to play together. Well, these two are just kind of epic heavy metal. Oh, like I said the other day, well, that was probably on our little live streams, Steve, but there's two songs that I would play before I went to work. I'd have to run down a hill for 10 minutes to catch the bus, but I'd play Voice That's Calling from Messiah Prophet and just air guitar as much as I could till I was sweating and then leave, or off of Rainbow Rising, Light in the Black, just because they're both an air guitar's dream song. So I don't know. Messiah Prophet made my top 10. Only this album, though, not Rock the Flock or...
Aaron thinks Messiah Prophet is incredibly cheesy, but he thinks they're great.
That's something that's typical for Aaron to say that, right? He'll say, "Oh, this is a great band, but they're pretty cheesy," right? That's something typical for him to say, right? He'll say, "Oh, they're a great band, but they're cheesy," right? I hear him say a lot of albums he's talking about, right? It cracks me up sometimes, right? So, yeah.
Okay, Tempest I've heard. I've only heard one album, and it was kind of a purple, kind of a weird cover.
Yeah.
But
actually,
I didn't mind it.
There's a little trivia there. When Jamie Rowe was joining Guardian, right? Because Jamie Rowe was a guy in Tempest. He joined Guardian by 1990, right? When the guys from Barren Cross heard he joined Guardian, they all cracked up laughing.
Yeah.
Because Tempest is not known to be the best band, even in Christian circles. So the guys in Guardian kind of cracked up laughing, like he couldn't believe it. We get Jamie Rose going from Tempest to Guardian. So there's a little bit of trivia for you. So yeah,
Fair play.
Did Tempest just have one album out? I've only seen one, but
they had 2 or 3. So
okay. The one I heard wasn't bad, but I haven't heard it for years. I had on cassette. But...
yeah. Whose turn is it now, guys?
Me, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
And I think Greg will know this band because it's his fault. He introduced me to it. And I haven't stopped playing it since he introduced me to it. And that was Triton.
Yeah.
And I believe they've got a 4th album coming out now. But Mr. Electric has got to be one of my favourite songs off that. And Greg introduced me to that song. I listened to it on YouTube, and I listen to it at least once a week. It's an absolute cracker of a song. But I've also got the gold disc version as well.
So there's where the controversy starts. To me, Celestial Messenger blows away anything they've done, but other people the live album's good too.
This was the best bargain of my CD collection. This was. I got it on eBay. I paid it was an accident buy. I don't think the guy realised what he had. And he said, you can have it for a tenner. I checked out the price, and the cheapest one was over 150 quid.
Really? I had that one too. Wow.
I've got the third one as well, but it's in the box.
Yeah.
So
Larry Dean is working on a couple of new albums. I think he's doing the Triton album and another one under a different name, not mistaken. But, that's last I heard from him talking on other channels.
I've spoken to the guy. I'm on his Facebook page. And he's got a Facebook page, and he said, 'cause he came out today. I said, I better tell the lads tonight. He said the 4th Triton album's on its way. Because I believe there was a big break between 2 and 3. It wasn't sort of years, I think, in between, and they sort of reformed or something.
Yeah, because when Triton ended about 1991, he moved somewhere else and started planting churches. He's a pastor, right? Started planting different churches, right? And right now as a pastor, he also does motocross racing. So got his hands in different things. So so he's trying to, I guess when he gets spare time, he does music with. He does. The guy from Barren Cross, Jim Laverty, played bass on the last album.
Right.
And this other guy, he played guitars and keys with the Neil Morse band.
Yeah.
Name's gone from my mind now, but you can look it up online.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, but say the name has gone here as well. Yeah.
And Neil Morse is a Christian. Neil Morse had done work with Steve Morse of Deep Purple and Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater. So just a bit of name dropping for you. So
fair play. But that Triton, the first one's fantastic. But say this one in UK, this was the bargain of the century. I don't think the guy knew what he had with this. But it's just luck, and they wanted me to have it. So I just love Triton. I think they're an amazing band.
How about these guys?
Hang on a second, buddy. I'll put you on the. Oh, Striper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what they are. They're the early. Is it the? I know what
Robert
it is.
Halliday and 12 Devil.
Yeah.
From both eras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody want to talk about these?
Have you seen Striper live?
No, I haven't. I'd love to.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's excellent.
Yeah. They're tight live. Of course, got to have the vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you get those in the UK, but they're expensive.
These are signed by all the band members. Listen here.
Wow.
It's on blue vinyl. There's a fella who sold me these records. This one, Following the Second Coming. He made actually, I don't know if you saw on Facebook, he made a yellow and black motorbike. And Perry bought the bike off of him. So when he saw a band concert, meet and greets, he got the band signed the records. He also got Perry signed those records as well, even though they didn't play on those records. Second Coming, No More Hell, and Fallen. And now Perry's also selling the same bike to somebody else. It got the bike up for sale. I'm not sure if in a bar after. Perry Richardson, the recent bass player of Striper. So, great albums. What's your thoughts on? You guys want to talk about those albums? See what your thoughts and what you think.
I don't know them well enough, but if you want to, Craig.
To Hell with the Devil, to me, is a hot and cold album.
Yeah.
I know it's probably their biggest seller to me, but to me, I even tried listening to it. Well, not tried. I did listen to it this
Yeah.
week just to refresh. But To Hell with the Devil, I give out a 10 out of 10, the title track. And More Than a Man, I give a 10 out of 10. That's to
Yeah.
me arguably the best song. But
Yeah, The Way and
little-
Free are good too.
yeah, there's some that I don't give 10s, but they're more a little notch below. But those two are on the A level. Where there's other Striper albums, I put more songs on the album at an A level or at the 10 out of 10. But those two, More Than a Man, I think is just way underrated song. You know,
I might be doing an album battle between Soldiers and To Help the Devil. I'm thinking. I jot some notes down on these. They're yesterday or today or yesterday, day before. I might do my next one coming up. Might be an album battle between that one and Guardian, American Mall, and Fire and Love.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think I did an album battle.
You
all
did,
three
yeah.
Guardians, the first three Guardian, I did a album
Yeah.
battle. Yeah, no, they're fun to good excuse to listen to them.
Yeah. All right, who's next, or do I go ahead?
It's you, Mike, after me, then Greg.
Let me show another one.
Yes, please.
How about these guys? Ex Sinner.
Yeah, I know Sinner. I was listening to that one on the right. I know it.
Same album, two different covers.
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah. If you guys out there like Def Leppard, Cinderella, Bit of Helix, Crocus, you'll like this album.
Yeah, I got the AC/DC vibe myself.
Yeah. So.
I thought I know why Greg likes them now.
Yeah, this is about 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 for me. So. Yeah. This is the Word Pachyderm version. This is the A&M Records version.
Oh well.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's the one on the right. I listened to on YouTube today, and there was like what's it called? You know these compilations where you get 50 albums. I was listening to them for heavy metal. I did the Christian one. You had quite a few because I wanted to do a comparison with all. I had some of the stuff, but I want to see what the other band sounded like. And I was listening to Ex Sinner, and Greg sort of mentioned it to me. I thought, yep, I can see why Greg likes this band because the guitars rocks on that one, doesn't he? He knows how to play a guitar.
Yeah. And Mike's seen them live. That's one of my worst things. I haven't got bucket list things to see them live.
Actually, I got more trivia for you. So as you may know, Ex Sinner, right? The current lead singer of Ex Sinner, not like an ongoing band. They get together from time to time. But Rex Scott, who sings from now, is also in a band called GX. Now, GX is a band, because as you may know, Rex Scott, I believe, lives in California. And the guitar player, Greg Bishop, I think he's from California. Anyway, so there's a producer here in Newfoundland named Glenn Thomas. He also knows another guy, Craig Jeans. Now, I used to live in Grand Falls, Windsor. I live in St. John's Middle Pearl, which is on the easternmost point of Newfoundland, right now. In center, there's Grand Falls, Windsor, and a couple of our away, Springdale. Near Springdale, Seal Cove. Glenn Thomas lives in Seal Cove, and I used to live in Grand Falls, Windsor years ago. Across the road from me was a guy named Craig Jeans, and his brother Keith Jeans graduated same year I did. Craig was a couple years behind us. Well, Craig Jeans, anyway, so Glenn Thomas knows Craig Jeans. Glenn Thomas kept bugging Rex Scott, Ex Sinner. I got a song I want you to hear, and kept bugging him. Anyway, so Rex finally gave in and heard a song, which is called Love IV, which is off their Bite Stick album, came out in 2012. Anyway, so Rex heard a song say, do you have any more? Because Glenn Thomas is a music producer. So do you have any more? So him and Rex got together, and the rest is history. I saw him in 2013 out in Deer Lake, which is further west, past Grand Falls, Springdale, at a Strawberry Festival in Deer Lake. So, and they played I met Greg Bishop. I met Rex Scott. Of course, I knew Craig from before. Craig played drums, and when he played GX songs, how'd it go? Glenn played guitar. Greg Bishop played bass. Rex Scott also played guitar and sang. When he played Ex Sinner songs, Glenn Thomas would play bass, and of course Greg would play lead guitar. They'll switch it up, right? So they'll play GX songs and X Center songs at the same show. They'll switch it up and play back and forth. So
Well, so take it. Are Exeter still going, or they split up?
now Greg does engineering. Greg Bishop, right now. So they're working on a new album called "Going It with a Bang." Because the last one, World Cover in Blood, came out in 2008. So I think he might be doing one more album before they call it quits permanently. So
Right. Yeah, they're a good band. So I got that AC/DC vibe
yeah,
when I listened to them. But I really enjoyed it.
yeah.
And I was just checking out the X Center Facebook page this morning, and they had a clip of a new song coming out, and for the new album, and it sounded really good. I'm like,
Oh, by the way, I gotta tell you something. Murr Records, about around 89, 90, was entertaining signing two bands. The band was Zion or Holy Soldier. Of course, Zion was a band Rex Scott was in before he joined X Center. Of course, the rest is history. David Safira produced Holy Soldier, signed the Murr Records in 89, 90. And of course, that was the first Holy Soldier album that I showed earlier. So they're picking between either band, Zion or Holy Soldier. Zion to me sounds a lot like Def Leppard and Helix. If you listen to Zion, what's called Thunder from the Mountain. They reissued the album back a few years back. So a little bit of trivia for you. So
Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. It's Greg's turn. Let's see what you've got, Greg.
okay. Well, I had X Center on my World Covered in Blood was my favorite album by them, so I won't go into more. I had the first couple of cassettes when X Center put them out in the mid '80s. I had them right away, and I loved them right away. But for some reason, it seems a little bit more. I don't know. I just like it a bit more all around. I don't know. I just love it. But let's see here. Oh yeah, this is what we've got to do. I keep piling stuff on the wrong place. We haven't heard anyone mention this yet, which is in my top 10 of all time. Only one album. I actually should have looked up more about them, but there's hardly anything about them.
okay.
Force 3.
Force 3, Warrior of Light. Unbelievable heavy metal. It's just like Messiah Prophet, Master of the Metal.
Yeah, they
Just
are
the true
good.
heavy metal. It's not black metal. It's not death metal, speed metal, whatever metal you want. It's just the classic, true heavy metal, like a stained class era Priest, or if you want to put it like that, or just the true metal. But man, just unbelievable album. Had to end up. I found this at Sweden Rock as well somehow, but
That's the one that the Big Three's got to reissue. Greg Hayes of Girder or Matt Hunt of Retroactive or Bill Baffert of Rocks Records. They need to reissue that album.
oh, I know this is
They got to.
I'm sure I've mentioned this to Scott before, but
Yeah.
years ago. But I should remind him like this is. It doesn't really need remastering to me, but why not give it the the Dream Team, the Dream Team.
The Dream Team. Yeah.
And I love how you called King Scott and what's the other guy's name, but who replaced Cliffy.
Yeah.
The Dream Team. Anyway, those two guys. It's a perfect name for them.
Scott and what's his name? Rob Caldwell.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, this is an absolute must. Like this is just one of my favorite. I can listen to this over and over 100 times in a row and not skip one song or half a song. It's just the true metal. I think they're from the States, but I could be wrong. Like I didn't look it up, but because there's no real liner notes or anything. Yeah, Force 3 is just.
No, I don't have the album. I think I may have heard a couple songs, or maybe parts of songs. But Greg, if you were compare that one to Messiah Prophet, which is better in your opinion?
Well, I might like the best song on Messiah Prophet better. Like they may have the best song or best two songs.
Yeah.
But overall, there's one or two songs, maybe one song on the Messiah Prophet that I kind of skipped that one.
Yeah.
It's a draw. I've got to sit on the fence like you.
Okay.
I'll let Steve decide.
I don't know. I've heard a couple of tracks off each, I think, but I haven't heard the whole album. So I think one of them albums over here would set you back about 500 quid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's not that Force 1. It's the Messiah Prophets. You could not get that over here for the. I've looked. And I went to Discogs. I went everywhere.
Yeah.
You've got no chance of getting something like that in this country. If you did, it'll be sort of in the hundreds, I think.
Doesn't Clarkovision and Aaron Metal Theologian have that album as well? I saw it floating around somewhere other channels.
Wow. No, I haven't seen it, but
I think Aaron might. I think Aaron might have it, but I don't know about
I
Bev.
think it does. And I think Bev's got a copy too from someone.
I had the vinyl, but I think I shipped it to the legendary King Scott Waters, so I think he's got it.
Yeah. It's a strange one, but yeah. But I'll have to look out for him. But
Oh, it's excellent. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. All right, whose turn is it, guys?
it's Greg, so it's my turn. I think after Greg,
Okay.
then Mike's again. I think Mike, you've already shown it today. This one. This is the Daniel Band. You've had it. You've got the vinyl version.
Yeah, I showed that in my last video. Good album.
Yeah, that was one I picked out. Greg sent me a load of these. You can't get these in the UK for love or money. Just amazing stuff. Band alike.
Good album.
Really, really classy hard rock. Really classy. I love them. Yeah. I got to see them. I drove. I went by train actually, which was really weird because here trains are almost obsolete for some reason, just for freight, but for passenger train. He wants you to show that again, Steve.
Oh, sorry. Was it? I think it was the Messiah Prophets. What Greg was talking about.
It was the fact that if he had the Force 3 album that you showed, Greg.
And I showed this, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he showed. Yeah, I think that's what he wanted to see.
Okay. Okay.
Daniel Band.
Yeah,
We've
Toronto.
also talked about the Messiah Prophets and Force 1.
If you like Triumph, Triumph's probably the closest thing you could say to it. Just the classy hard rock. Oh, not the Daniel Band. Oh,
I think Aaron wants to see the two you held up, Greg.
Force 3.
Yeah, if Aaron had that one.
Yeah, if you had that one in your collection, Aaron.
Okay, no, it wasn't him. Yeah. I know someone showed the album besides Bev recently on the video I watched. I wasn't sure who it was. Someone showed it. I can't remember. So
I'll have to have another look for it. Maybe it's come down in price or someone stocks it they never did before.
yeah. Okay, guys, how about this one? Ken Tamplin, Axe to Grind.
Hang on a sec. Come on, baby.
That's Ken Tamplin from Shout. This is his first solo album.
King
Yeah,
Scott.
he's got a singing college, isn't he? He trains people how to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck
Will
Wright
it be,
from,
Aaron?
I believe Chuck Wright from Quiet Rights have played on both Impel Terry and Ken Tamplin stuff as well. So, yeah.
So where do you rank that with In Your Face? Or no, not. I mean the second Shout album. Where do you rank it?
The second show, I think, will rank higher than this one.
That's what I thought. That's because I remember having that when it came out, and I thought, oh no, I like the second
This
Shout
one here
album
is a bit like not the album is not as focused as Shout is. Shout is you get that hard rock Whitesnake feel, late 80s glam metal. This is more got jazz, got like blues, got like melodic metal, got a bit of everything mixed. This is sort of a mixed bag, but still is a good album. Like a lot of good stuff in. It's more to me that Shout is more of a top 40 metal album. This is more progressive. So because got all those guitar players playing different guitar players, right? So it's not a band if it's more a project. So in my opinion,
And Ken Tamplin's one of the best singers going. I actually got comment on one of his videos he did, and I said you could have filled in for David Coverdale of Deep Purple when David Coverdale left. Like he would have fit in perfect because I think he sounds the closest to Coverdale, and it's cool watching him cover Rainbow and Deep Purple like on his channel. He's got a great channel.
Yeah, it does Journey, Guns N' Roses, and actually did Painkiller from Priest as well.
Oh, did he try that one?
He did. Yeah. Wow, you got to put it on, man. Wow, just blows your mind. Yeah.
Well,
have you seen his testimony?
No, I don't know the story of his life.
You should go into his testimony. He was a drug dealer when he was in his early teens.
Oh yeah, no, I never thought to check it out. Yeah, I'll check it out.
You should listen. He had a hard life before he got to where he is now.
Oh,
you should definitely watch his testimony. Man, it'll blow your mind. Now, I got to make a point too. I found in the early mid '80s, Stryper hit it big in the U.S. But to me, like Shout and Joshua, I think hit big or somewhat big in Europe. Like they weren't as well known over here in the US and Canada. To me, Shout and Joshua. But to me, like everyone was a big Striper. I found in the Christian metal side and Petra, like those kinds of bands. But over in Europe, I think Shout, from what I've been reading over on my side here, Shout and Joshua, I believe, it's kind of made their way in Europe more so in here. I think maybe I don't know if Steve Wood can attest to that. Certain bands are popular over there versus here.
I vaguely heard a Shout. Hang on, I'm just
Yeah.
going to check eBay. It's a good indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was available, Shout CD, got a lot of Motley Crue albums.
Well, while you're looking that up, yeah, Ken Tamplin was gifted from God with the perfect rock star looks, the perfect rock star voice, guitar hero, singer hero. I mean, wow, holy cow!
He's a multi instrumentalist. He plays like bass. He does drums. He does guitar. Sings and produces. He's just amazing. Yeah.
I can't even do Smoke on the Water on the stupid guitar, and I've been trying for 30, 40 years. That's how stupid I am. But unbelievable. Other guys, it's just natural. They just pick up. Well, I'll do the bass guitar now, or I don't get it. I don't have enough brain cells. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you want me to show another one, or do you guys want to go ahead?
Oh, I have a question. Just, did you ever play anything like a guitar or a drum?
No, I wish I did. No.
But you've never sat behind a drum kit?
No. Well, just shagging around, not like seriously, I can't keep a rhythm on drums.
Yeah, it's a lot of brain thinking. It's fun though. Yeah, I rented a set of drums for 1 month and just played along to music. And as long as you kept it simple, you can do it. It's just when you start overextending, but it's fun though, because you just smash the high cymbals. But anyway,
that's one thing with metal and rock. When you look at it, listen to it, you think, "Oh, that sounds so easy." But when you try and play it, something else. A lot of people, experienced guitar players, and said it to me. Some of them chord progressions are seriously hard to do. It's even sort of top musicians, they struggle.
Yep. Is it my turn? I've lost
Yeah.
track.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you a picture of the cover. I don't know if Mike, if you have it handy, but to me, this is one of the best rock albums in rock history, and I'll say that easily.
I think I know what it is.
Rage of Angels.
Nope, don't have that one. I thought you'd show something else, but go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, you don't have Rage of Angels, but you've heard it.
What? I've heard part of it is good. Apparently, one of the guys on Rage of Angels, I saw, the guys Rex and Kent of Area 312. They had one of the members of that band on the show, and he doesn't feel need to have it reissued. I kind of wish he did.
What?
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest albums, period. For that mid '80s perfect guitar tone. That's the album cover, but
yeah.
Well, the band. Oops, I might have just screwed everything up. Well, they just look typical.
Yeah.
So that's an unreal album. I'm shocked you don't have that one. That's that's one of my favorite albums of all time.
That one kind of fell through the cracks for me. So
oh yeah, no, you can't have everything, and
yeah,
but, that's a absolute must-have, must-listen, even on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
it's just stereotypical classic hard rock. It's not heavy metal, but it's sure got some fast songs, and the lyrics are excellent too. And the sound quality is perfect. But only one album, so I'm just sad about that. But
he's done other albums. He's done other albums too, but I don't think many or much of the music was like that old school hard rock melodic. I think it's more into the different styles. So, yeah.
Okay, well, there's mine.
Yeah. Right, here's mine. Mine's a twofer. Same band, but I genuinely like this band. I'll explain why. And that's Saint.
Oh, yeah.
Time's End. And I can't see the title of the one from here. Just have to spin it round. Warriors of the Sun.
Yeah.
The best way I could describe this band, they're very like Judas Priest. That sort of deal they are. they've got stuff in there that Judas Priest wish to God they could do. You know what I mean? Some of it's just out of this world, especially the guitarist. He can half play the guitar. And I listened to about 6 or 7 tracks of theirs today, and both these albums are killer. But yeah, best way to describe them, if you like Judas Priest, you'll absolutely love them. But they're just so heavy. They've got the same sort of when he's on the stage, he was doing the Rob Halford sort of shapes. You know what I mean? But the musically, the guitar is just out of this world. It's just so, amazing. I mean, you think, wow, wish Judas Priest could do something like that. You know what I mean? It's just killer stuff, and they've been going for a long time as well. I think they're early 80s they were about. And yeah, it's just a killer band. I thoroughly enjoy them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, closest thing that Christian rock has to classic early Judas Priest, as far as I'm concerned, like the Stained Class era, not Painkiller and later. No, it's not like that. Or at least I haven't heard lots of Saint albums too, but the ones I like are just in that pocket of just traditional headbanging heavy
Have
metal.
you heard their new one, Heaven Fell?
No, I've seen it shown. I've seen you show it and stuff, but I
You
haven't
have
heard
to
it.
hear that one.
Is it back to the classic sound?
Yeah, Mike Nielsen is singing the last couple of albums. The one before that, The Calf, is good, but this one is way better. And there's like 10, 11 songs on there. At least 8 of them are like malted metal, like almost a throwback. I know, like I know when you discover a band, like when I discovered Saint, they had Tom Zinn out, right? I know the album that you discovered a band has got notoriety or nostalgia with you, but if you listen to this current one, you take Tom Zinn and Too Late for Living. Too Late for Living is more polished. Tom Zinn's more raw. Well, The Calf is more like Too Late for Living, a bit more polished. But this one is more raw, like similar to Tom Zinn. You compare the two most recent albums to the first 2 full-length albums. You want to compare albums, not the song style, but the production. But to me, like the last song, Heaven Fell, is almost like to me, Heaven Fell is kind of like Destroyers of the World. Tom Zinn. Got that kind of vibe to that steady pelting metal, bang, 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 bang. That kind of like that galloping metal,
Yeah.
Think of an Iron Maiden galloping metal.
Yeah.
One of their the Trooper, for example, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Got that.
Yeah, I've got you.
That's the
I
last.
mean, this band,
Yeah.
what I love, if you watch them, especially earlier,
Yeah.
you think, God, this is Judas Priest. You see, he copies Alfred's mannerisms. He looks at the drummer and doing all this, and you think, wow, this is a Judas Priest clone band. They're much more than that. They're just, some of the songs, I think they're just phenomenal. And some of the riffs, they're just easily comparable to Judas Priest. And I bet some of them are Judas Priest are thinking, wow, why didn't we record that? You know what I mean? It's just like it's not a clone band. It's just like an extension on Judas Priest. Because not a clone. I call a clone band a copycat band. You know what I mean? But this band's a lot more than that. It's sort of it's just phenomenal stuff.
I'm not familiar with Accept as I'm with Iron Maiden, but I do find some Saint stuff reminds me of Accept as well.
Yeah.
Some of their stuff as well. I'm trying to say something I'm going to say, but I mean, like I said, if you like Striper, Saint kind of call it quits around 1990, and he regrouped in the late 90s for about 8 or 9 years. And the main guy, Rich Lynch, a bass player, he revived the band around 2000, 2001, right? And they started putting music in a Battle in 2004. From that point on, they've been putting out albums every couple or few years from that point on. But I mean, you take Saint, to me, is like the Christian version of new wave British heavy metal. Like Greg said, the early 80s Priest. So yeah.
Well, that's a great statement. So I 100% agree with that.
Oh,
go
ahead.
Sorry, if you like Priest, that new wave sound, it's definitely the band for you. But it's not a clone band. No. They're not sort of. I mean, on the stage, he's got all the mannerisms, and even one of the guitarists looks like Ian Hill, the bass player, the way he nods his head. They're
Yeah.
much more than that. They're a stand-up band, if you know what I mean. Some of their songs,
Yeah.
are just amazing. It's just stand-up metal. It's good saint metal, if you know what I mean.
I know a lot of times Christian bands is accused of sounding like the mainstream counterpart, but to me, Ex Sinner don't totally sound like AC/DC to me. I see like bits of, like I said before, bits Cinderella, bits of Def Leppard, bits of AC/DC. Same as like Baron Cross compared to Iron Maiden. But like the lead singer sounds like Iron Maiden because he's part French. He's from France. I think Mike Lee's from France originally. But the music to me of Baron Cross is not like Iron Maiden. The lead singer might be like Iron Maiden, but the music to me is got a little bit of the progressive metal, a little bit of the new wave of British heavy metal, a little bit of the commercial metal. Baron Cross is like a melting pot of different styles in the one band, right?
Yeah.
A Rat. Scott Winslow, I've never heard a Rat before he joined White Cross. It happened to sound like Stephen Pearcy Rat. Like just a little bit of information for you. So yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, I had this handy.
Yeah.
BC, yeah, Baron Cross.
Yeah. Good album.
Well, I may as well carry on because I've only got 2 left, and this is.
Yeah, I've only got 2 left myself. So
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 left.
yeah.
It's all good stuff. It's what better stuff.
This is definitely excellent traditional metal. They did a song or two on that California Metal compilation, which was Christian rock compilation, which was quite great at the time because it exposed all these bands. But holy cow, this thing's an end-to-end rock perfection to me. It just has a unique sound. I can't really compare them to anyone, but well, you can tell how they look, and that's how they sound. They just true metal. Just ignore the acoustic part. Like they have maybe a little bit, they're 1 minute little part in a song, but they're just true heavy metal.
I think
my classic heavy metal, I guess, because heavy metal has so many terms. But if you want 80s heavy metal, this is an album for you. And then the second album was more Iron Maidenish for me, because it seemed a bit more galloping or a bit more, and the singing seemed more Maidenish. But this is more closer to Priest than Maiden, if you want to split hairs. But yeah, no, this is a must-have for anybody to have at all in their collection. It's not even a question, but
Wow.
I think State of Control is my favorite album from them. That was the third album. That was their first one. But yeah, great band. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But what about for a crowd pleaser song? Would Rock for the King, where the crowd, a real crowd, that would be a total crowd pleaser song that every band has, where the crowd can.
Rock for the King got that Dio vibe to me.
And the early Dio, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Holy
that reminds me of.
Dio,
Yeah.
Not so much shredding, like Vivian Campbell had a really good, like a lot of shredding kind of style, but there's still lots of great lead and tasteful, which I like. I like the melodic soloing. Yeah, no, that's a great way of putting it.
I mentioned this band before.
Hang on a sec.
I couldn't make up my mind which album's better, so I figured show both of them. Impel Terry, Answer the Master, and Scream Symphony.
Yeah.
94 and 96.
I'm going to write that down. So what was that again? Sorry.
Impel Terry,
Yeah.
Answer the Master, which is this one. Oh, sorry, this one. And Screaming Symphony, which is this one. Sorry, this one.
So it's not like Yngwie, lots of noodling, like a million notes a minute, or is it?
Well, Yngwie tend to have a long solo. His solos are shorter. Like he knows when to stop. He plays for the song, right? So you don't get a lot of that all the time, right? You get a good heavy rhythm, right? Kick into the solo and revert back to the rhythm again, right? I know. Do you guys find Iron Maiden kind of overstays their welcome with their lead songs? I know Dream Theater does a lot. They overstay their welcome a bit with the lead stuff, right? But right,
yeah, rest in peace, Tony Clark. In great loss to music.
Yeah, he knows when to stop. Chris, of course, named after his last name, Chris Impellitteri. He knows he plays for the song. That's the way he is, right? So yeah, great band.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll check those out for sure because I wouldn't know where to start because I know he's got a lot of albums out,
Yeah.
but I do know Rat Race is one of my favorite songs of all time, kind of thing. It's just I should send it to you, Steve, if you've never
That's
heard
the
that
one.
song.
Yeah, Rat Race is on this one.
What year is that?
96. His
Oh,
track
96?
7.
Oh,
Track
okay, 'cause
7.
that's right in that melodic
Yeah.
hard rock.
Yeah.
It doesn't get too crazy song.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to Rat Race, that's pretty much what Lost Songs are like on this one. So, and the other one.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's good. Something to look forward to listening to. So I know you've talked about him a lot. So
now,
gotta be-
Impellitteri isn't a Christian band. They have Christian members that have come and gone over the years. But with Rob Rock doing the lyrics, a lot of it is written from that worldview. Much of the lyrics, like good versus evil, that kind of thing, right? So, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. How many records you got left, Mike?
I got 150 records, about 420 CDs.
No, tonight for the show.
Oh, I only got probably 2 more bands to show.
Yeah, I've got 4. How many have you got, Greg?
1.
Right, I'm going to stick 2 up, and I'll do
Okay.
do the next 2. These are my favourite ones. These are, and the first one you may know, Sacred Warrior. I think it's been mentioned before tonight.
Yeah.
Good album. Yeah.
Master Commander, phenomenal album. And this one's definitely been mentioned tonight as well. And that's Blood Good.
Oh, you've got the first one.
I
That's
think
good.
Greg sent me a vinyl album of theirs as well.
I got
This
that
is
one.
Yeah, this is a phenomenal album.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially for when it came out, because there wasn't really anything that sounded quite like them. Like that's just a real metal kind of metal. Whereas, Striper could have a ballad and then a fast song, but that Blood Good album's just heavy metal. Like if not in today's terms, but if you were sitting in 1986, you would just say that's heavy metal. There's no question.
Daryl Mansfield produced that album, by the way.
Who did? Sorry.
Daryl Mansfield.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. I forgot about that. I probably knew that years ago, but wow, Daryl Mansfield. That's got a really. I would like to listen to the remastered versions because that always sounded a little trebly and a sharp and harsh kind of sound, which kind
Yeah,
of.
this is a legendary master.
Oh, okay. Because a remaster, it might make it warmer. Like I don't
Yeah.
usually, I don't mind it. It's being that way because it gives it a unique sound. Like that album sort of stands on its own. I wonder what it would sound like with the real remaster, a real thicker back end to it. But
Yeah, the only song I don't like on that one is Demon on the Run. That to me, that song's out of place. But all the other ones are great. So.
And what's following the grave? The lyrics to that song, "What's Following the Grave," they really make you think. Like that's everybody's gonna have to answer that question.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be a Christian and be wrong than be a non-Christian and then find out, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but like you say, God's the judge. I mean,
And
whatever.
speaking of Christianity, if you guys watch, there's a guy on YouTube. He's a Christian apologist named Frank Turek, Turek.
Yeah.
He goes into detail about proving or the evidence for Christianity, right?
Yeah.
And he gives probably about an hour and a half, a 2-hour presentation. If you want to sit through all of it, right?
Yeah.
And he goes through from the cosmological argument, the like objective morality, that kind of thing, and how you can go from a general supreme creator to specifics of Christ and good and evil, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sit through that, man, and watch it, man. It just blow your mind, right? And it'll strengthen your faith. The other guy too, Michael Heiser, I mentioned to me a bit before. He goes into like the spiritual realm, like the divine council in heaven, like the elders in heaven, and goes through those details about the spiritual realm and stuff that will blow your mind, like the supernaturality and supernatural will affect like good versus evil kind of thing. You got to check out these guys on YouTube. It'll blow your mind, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So it's Mike's turn.
Okay, guys. I know you guys mentioned this band before, like a few seconds ago. Blood Good.
Sorry. Blood Good. Yeah.
Darkness.
So, can you turn it round, please, buddy?
What's that?
Blood Good. Is that the? I'm trying to work out what album that is.
Out of the Darkness is their fourth album, 89.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Right?
But when did that one come out?
1989.
Wow.
So, yeah. Hold on
And
a second.
what's your opinion of their later album, the one that came out just a few years ago? I've seen the one song on YouTube of it where they have looks like, I think they were at different houses or something and they played it, or I can't remember, but yeah.
Thank you very much, Mike. I'm glad you joined the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. But anyway, I was just wondering if Soldier 77 thought the newest Blood Good album compared to any of the early albums, or was it a different style or softer or just as good or better?
The new album, you talking about Les Carlson or the last Blood Good album?
Nope, the last Blood Good.
The last one's good. I got that on vinyl CD as well. That's the one that Oz Fox. Now they broke up around '93, and because Mike Bloodgood, I think, wanted to go into seminary school because he was a pastor before he passed away. And the other, I guess, because of get married, got kids, getting older, they all went separate ways. They regrouped around 2007. That's when Oz Fox joined them on a part-time basis while doing them as Striper, and then they put it out in 2013. That's a good album. To me, that album is probably that one there is similar to, I think, Darkness, but has more of I shouldn't use the word modern metal because modern metal got a bad name, but it's got more of a modern sound, right? And to me, the new Les Carlson album, to me, reminds you a lot of Out of Darkness as well, which I think that's a phenomenal album as well. I should have showed that one, but I didn't. But if you take the half a dozen Blood Good albums and Les Carlson will rank right up, way up there. It's a really good album. So, yeah, excellent album. Yeah,
There's Salzman, yeah.
Yeah. I just show my last one, and you guys
Right.
you guys may not be familiar with this album. Figure show it anyway. Saint.
I've never seen it before, and it's funny. I was listening to that earlier on.
Yeah. Awesome album. It's probably my favorite album. Yeah.
Skillet.
Yeah. Great band.
No, I've never heard of that band. Have you, Mike? Skillet?
Yeah. I heard a Skillet. Not a fan. They're more modern metal. They're like modern metal. If you I'm not a fan, but the guy Jim Cooper, he's a full-on Christian guy, and I see him talk about progressive or woke Christianity. He's against it. He got a book out actually, and he talks going against woke or progressive Christianity. He got a book out actually, but yeah, he's got a lot of talks on podcasts about like what true Christianity actually is. Great guy, but he's a huge Petra fan too. So,
fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of him personally. Right. Greg. Sorry,
okay.
Greg, after you, mate.
Okay. I'll keep talking about Skillet first, I guess, because I keep seeing them in used music stores all the time, but I never check them out. I know they're Christian, but I've always sort of thought of them as just not in my scene, like not punky enough or not hard rock enough.
Yeah.
But if you've seen them live and really liked them, I maybe should explore them because I see them around everywhere. And here's a more obscure kind of a punky band. Oh, they're modern Christian metal. Okay. With the Festival with Mary. Oh, wow. That's okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Skillet's got a huge following. They're a popular band, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll check out Skillet. And then here's a neat one. This was more of a punky thing. I just listened to it today.
Hang on, Greg, I'll put you on the...
I don't know anything about Stellar Cart. I don't know anything. This was sort of a blind buy deal, I think. And well, there's not really much to show, but yeah, that's just sort of, well, I've got it written down as Christian rock, but Anyway, that's another fun one to check out if you're interested in. But my last of the top tens, this has to be in there for sure. This album, again, although there's a couple of songs I'll skip, I'll admit that. Not like Rage of Angels or Force 3 or
Philadelphia, yeah.
their first album. And yeah, I heard you mention M8 today. I think you said M8, or you referred to the Christian Distribution label.
Me or Steve?
Steve, or no, Mike. You mentioned
Yeah.
the earlier.
Yeah, M8 was Matt Hunt's early label before he formed Retroactive Records. Matt Hunt.
And this is M8 here.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just absolute traditional heavy metal. Except for the one, there's sort of a happy song that I didn't like. But well, here's a better look at what they look like. But yeah, there's a song, New Jerusalem, at the end. That's perfect closer for an album because it's got the slow. It's like Freebird sort of thing where it's got the slow part, but then it goes a real bouncy part and then a real true heavy metal ending. But there's another song, No Compromise. That's another kind of Iron Maidenish bouncy, just dun 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 like. But it's a really raw sound, raw heavy metal album for '84, I think it was, on Patmos. But yeah, no, that's in my top 10 of all time for Christian rock.
Greg, do you have that Christian band that members of Lynyrd Skynyrd formed called Vision? Do you have that band?
Oh no, I don't. I've listened. I heard it years ago, and I thought it was too mellow for me. So, but I know Billy Powell was in on it, or
yeah. A lot of now I don't have their music, but a lot of people like those albums. They put like 2 or 3 or 4 albums over like the mid to late '80s, I think.
Oh, did
they? If you like Lynyrd Skynyrd, that '70s rock, you might like those guys. They're called Vision, and I think I know like Boons or Rocks or Gerda might have their albums online, or they're on might be on Discogs too. So yeah, if you want to get those albums, so yeah.
Right, what I'm going to do is for the sake of time, I'm going to stick both of mine up together. My last two, we both discussed them this evening. Greg, I think you know which one of mine is going to be, Greg, because Greg sent me it. It's an absolutely amazing CD. This one's the Petra one, On Fire.
Yeah.
And there's a beautiful track on there. I think it's called, not Minefield, but it's a really, First Love. That was one. That's a killer song, that is.
That was a big hit for them back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, First Love. But this is Greg's fault. I've played this one 100 times, I must have. And this is the Res Band. It's got to be my favourite.
Yeah.
We discussed it. It's a live one. It's actually on YouTube. I watch it as well. It's a great song. Like this is what I thought Greg had held up earlier on. It's got a great track listing on it, but like you say. I'm trying to find a track listing. I can't find it. But yeah, it's got Attention on it. I can't find. Ain't got a track listing. So that's the booklet anyway.
Yeah. I almost didn't buy that album when it came out back in the summer fall of '92. But my buddy told me to buy it, and I'm glad I did. I still have that album this day. So.
Wow, because I just found the track listing. Hang on, they printed it on the CD, but didn't tell me. It starts with Military Man, phenomenal song.
Perfect.
Then it goes to Afrikaans. That was about apartheid in South Africa. Then Attention, that's a killer track we discussed earlier. Then Colours, then Players. The Struggle, there's not a bad track on it, and it's just a killer record. Again, you couldn't get this in the UK. I've checked. So I've got 3 of these thanks to Greg. This is another one you cannot get. I've absolutely checked. Nobody's got these in the UK. You just can't get them. Yeah, it's by
I like on that album, in the Colours album, Stu Heist got this really cool double neck guitar.
Yeah,
it's awesome. He
had that out as well. I saw him have that out. I think it was it. He uses it in one of the early tracks as well. Attention, I think, or the one after Military Man. He had the double guitar out.
Yeah. I love that. Right there. You go. Yeah.
Are they still going then, Res?
They call it quits around 2000, I think it is, because they're in the Jesus People USA communal group, but I think they do get the odd time for the odd show here and there whenever they're called to.
Yeah.
I believe they play Immortal Fest too. I think because I know Glenn was one of the speakers there, Glenn Collier, because he's their ordained minister. So
Yeah.
I don't think he made the T-shirt.
Yeah.
I guess I've got the lineup right here, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new Immortal Fest lineup, I like this one better.
Yeah.
But I didn't see Rez on there. Anyway.
White Cross got a new album coming up, by the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it's going to. They're a bit hit and miss with me, but there was one albums that I did like about 3/4 of it.
Yeah, the first three are awesome. I should have showed the first album. The first album's great, very first one. But yeah, another great album. Like I said, there's a lot that you don't have time to show. But there's like a lot of good albums out there, right? Like Joshua Intense Offense, first White Cross album. I can go on and on. Barren Cross, State of Control. There's all kinds of albums you could show, right? But you don't have time. Now, the one band I didn't show because I'm not familiar enough with them. I got all their albums bought, but I haven't listened to them all yet. Was Narnia? They're like that Swedish band. That's have you heard of those guys?
I've heard of them. Yeah, it rings a bell.
Yeah, that's one band that I think people should get into. CJ Grimmark, awesome guitar player. Yeah, you like Yngwie and Europe and that kind of music. You definitely like that band. So,
well, I've got a band you want to check out from the UK. Scott sent it a couple of weeks ago. I've been listening to it. And it's a Christian band called Witchfinder. They've got an album. I think they're from Lancaster, but it's very proggy sort of rock style metal. But it's really good stuff. And Scott, he sent me, I think he sent it to you as well, Greg. He sent me, check this out. It's a band called Witchfinder. They're worth a listen to as well.
Yeah, they have a Thin Lizzy sound. At least the bit I've heard on YouTube, there's a real dual guitar. Just a good, happy kind of a
sort of proggy type Thin Lizzy sounding band. But they're worth checking out.
If it's the same band I'm thinking of, I think I've heard of them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Witchfind. Yeah, I don't know any.
Witch Hazel or Witchfind or something.
Oh, yeah, it's Witch Hazel, I think.
Witch Hazel, that's it. Okay. I know it's Alpha Flower. That was right. Witch Hazel. Yeah, I apologize.
I showed you guys this before we went live on the air. I was listening to this on the day, driving around in my car and going to a few shops. Martin Simpson's Destroyer of Death. As I told you guys before we went live, Rock from Pelletary sings on this album, and CJ Grimmark of Narnia plays guitars. And I believe a Swedish singer, I believe he was on the band called, what's the band called? Is it Seventh Avenue or was it, hold on a second. Give me a second to pull up the lyric sheet. Insert. Are you guys familiar with the singer from Europe? There's guy sings a couple songs. He sounds familiar to me. I heard him somebody before in another European band.
Is somebody Norum? John Norum?
No.
Okay.
His name is Jorn Land. JORNLANDE. Vocals, background vocals on Master of All.
Oh, I know lots about him.
He sings on one of the songs. Also, CJ Grimmark on lead rhythm guitars. Rex Carl from White Cross, intro guitar solo and doing solos. Starting approximately 2.47 and 3.03 on Rapture. So, rock vocals. So, yeah, it's an all-star lineup in this band. Different people from different bands. Great album. Yeah, so if you want to like the European power metal, I recommend this one. They have keyboards, but the keyboards is more just to enhance music. So,
I want to check out that for that.
Yeah, I got to do a deep dive and listen to this thoroughly. But from what I heard so far, it's a great album. So yeah.
Is that Jorn Land? He goes by just JORN on some albums.
Probably could be same guy.
When I was at Sweden,
yeah,
when I was at Sweden Rock, I was in the parking lot because Kansas was playing, and I had no interest in hearing Kansas, so I was just at the car. And then this other guy, he was from Sweden or somewhere. Oops, my power's almost dead. He said, "Oh, have you heard of Jorn before?" I go, "No idea." And then I found out he's done a Dio tribute album, and
okay,
a lot like Dio, so that's where his main claim to fame. But he's, oops, sorry. Oh, this is.
All right, Joe.
Hello.
Yeah. She wants to take out the garbage.
You ask your wife who her favorite hard rock band is, or her favorite album.
What's your favorite hard rock album, Shirley?
I don't have one.
No?
Don't you like what about anybody? You saw Kiss? She saw Kiss live.
I like.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, she likes Ozzy.
I don't have a
Oh,
favorite.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay,
Now,
we're
when Greg says she takes out the trash, I was going to say something then, but I thought, nah.
that'd be
She
me.
takes the trash out and turns off the lights on them.
Slacking off.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we saw Ozzy at Outdoor Festival in Finland or somewhere. We were at row 2. We got there really
Yeah.
early, and we're just talking to people, looking at the stage. Oh well, they're going to start pretty soon, so we may as well go back,
Yeah.
out of the crowd. And then it was so tight packed we couldn't move. We were stuck, so we got sprayed in the face with foam and everything else, right from Ozzy with his fire hose. And
Did she like Frank?
oh,
Correct.
she's gone. No, she's had enough. I don't. I could
There's
run
a guy
it.
I mentioned earlier. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Frank Turek though? I don't recognize
There's the
that.
guy I mentioned before. He's a apologist. He does these speeches on the
Oh,
the
that-
evidence
oh, right.
for like God and everything. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, lads, I'm going to call it. It's 10 past midnight here.
Yeah.
And I hope you've all. Thank you for joining us, Mike.
No problem. Great to be here.
You're welcome to join us again, mate, whenever you want.
Yep. We should do we should do like a favorite live album, like Christian edition live
Yeah.
album, or something different.
We could
Yeah.
do some album
Yes.
battles as well.
Or like a favorite debut albums from Christian bands or something like that. So whatever you want to do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I do think that they're way better Christian thinkers.
Oh
Yeah.
well.
I
Well-
tend to have a thing in life. I never overthink anything. People say I overthink. I don't think. I try to get that emotion out of my head. I'm not clever enough to think.
No, and with a
How
wedding ring.
about overthinking putting on your pants in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then should we call it, lads?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Aaron, for standing through the whole
Yeah,
thing.
thanks, Aaron, mate. You're a star. You're an absolute star. I hope you had a great record sale. I did watch your show. But
I'd say Aaron's after cooking up a whole meal while he's listening to us talk and yammer around about Christian metal.
yeah. Well, Aaron, you better join us on the next show, mate, and we can have a good discussion.
Yeah, we should do a show with Aaron on it saying these bands in Christian music are cheesy. What do you think?
That'd be a good idea. That well, yeah. Come on, Aaron.
Yeah, and they know show his Battle Cry album. This band is cheesy. What do you think?
Oh, you're going to eat soon, yeah.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could eat, but it's like 10 past midnight here. It's not good for
Yeah.
you to eat after that sort of time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mike, many thanks.
No problem. Great.
I'll
Thanks for
come up sometime, Aaron.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having me
you're
on.
always welcome, mate.
Yeah.
And we can't wait. And yeah, we've got another guy. Hang on, he's from I am from Wisconsin. We love cheese.
Oh, and I got to show him something.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry.
I think Shirley's dropping a hint, turning the light out of the Rourke Cave.
Yeah.
Damien's Gray got to go do his chores.
Yeah. Like shoveling snow.
If he's from Wisconsin,
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Packers.
because they're in the playoffs, and
Oh, Greg. Someone that was talking to Dame mentioned the Green Bay Packers.
so I don't know if he likes football, but
I know a guy who loves football. Green Bay Packers. Sure. Dan. What's his name? Dan.
yeah, Canadian VC superstar Dan Powers. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Powers. He likes the Packers too. Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to laugh, Greg and Mike? My team, they were playing today, and we protested the pitch, and the match got stopped because of what's happening because we're going bankrupt. They brought the match to the halt, and there's serious legal ramifications now. They reckon the way we're going to be bankrupt by the end of the season.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, the boss, he's Chinese. He's running us into the ground. Our players, we started the match, but we boycotted it. All the fans marched onto the pitch, about 300 fans, and that was it. No more football for the rest of the day. That's English soccer, football. No more football. That was the end of the match. But apparently now they're going to sue us or legal action or whatever for stopping the match. But I mean, it's terrible watching your team you sported all your life get ripped to shreds.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's getting bad.
Yeah, you guys in England really like your football or soccer, don't you? You guys,
Yeah,
really,
and we're a football nation. That's our national sport.
Yeah.
But I'm also into rugby union because I'm not an English sport. I support South Africa
yeah,
in rugby union. We won the World Cup again this year. I'm not going to rub it in because Rod hates. I'm glad Rod's gone because he hates me saying that, being Australian. But yes, soccer, football, it's in our DNA, mate. If you cut me in half, I'll bleed, Reading. I tell you, it's in my genetics. It's part of my DNA.
Soccer's going to be really popular in Canada, at least in my area. Soccer's really picking up there because we got a few teams, like local teams. My wife was on a soccer team for a little while, a local team there. It was great fun. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I reckon in America, the big four, like baseball, ice hockey and stuff, the investment in football is huge.
Yeah.
They're building football stadiums now in Canada. I think they're going to host the World Cup there as well. One of the big cups is coming to America and Canada. They reckon it could be as big in America as it is over here in 5 or 6 years down the line.
Yeah.
They're investing billions into it, huge sums of money.
Yeah, we're around probably to what it was like. We're around. I'm thinking we're around probably 16 years behind you guys in terms of popularity because soccer is growing here, but it's not at the level it is in Europe and like in Latin America, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's in America. It's got the big four, which is baseball, ice hockey, football, and the other one, basketball.
Yeah.
And they reckon soccer was very boring. That's why it never took off in the 70s or 80s compared to these sports.
I say the big four. Then I think soccer is probably a tier down. Maybe it's on par with one of the other ones like football, but it is getting bigger here. So yeah.
Yeah, but the money I read in America they're putting into it.
Yeah.
You're talking it's in a bit probably the $1 trillion range.
Yeah.
They reckon in 10 years' time, because the World Cup now is that popular in America. So many Americans were tuning into it. It's going to be absolutely huge in America. It is at the moment. It's getting bigger every day. But in 10 years' time, the only problem we've got now is Saudi Arabia. They've got leagues, and because they've got the most money, they'll steal all our players. They'll all go to Saudi and play, and it's going to be a huge competition to get the players. And with it all taking off around the world, so that means the price of players will go through the roof. But it's going to be absolutely huge over there. That's what I've read.
Now, a problem in Canada, US here is that, see, US got the big bucks. Canada doesn't have as much money, so you might have 6 teams in Canadian, but most of the teams is in America for hockey teams. But 67% of the players are Canadian.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how it is with the NHL. So
yeah. It's all a conundrum at the moment, but. See what happens. Anyway, I'm glad the Americans, because I mean, we get so much American stuff come over here. And the Canadian folks, it's nice to them to adopt one of our sports.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway.
shall we call it then, lads? Have you got anything else to say, Greg?
No, I tried going to one soccer game in Vancouver in about '79 because it was popular here, the Vancouver Whitecaps, but one guy put the ball through the other guy's legs, and that was the only excitement out of the whole game. Otherwise, it was kicked out of bounds or kicked wide. And so compared to hockey, I don't get it. But my brother-in-law, well, like I told you, he's went to England to see some games. He's a
Manchester United fan. I've got some gear for him. I'll put it in your box. If he's into Manchester United, somebody give me it as a joke. I got found it the other day.
Yeah.
Reading.
Next time I talk to him, I'll let you know.
Find out what team he supports. I might have a unique souvenir for him. Yeah. Okay, lads, let's call it. Thank you very much, Mike, for what you've done tonight. You've been brilliant, mate. And you are welcome on again. Greg, thank you very much, mate.
Really appreciate
And
it.
thank you, folks, for watching, listening. Enjoy your gumbo or whatever you're having for tea, or in our case, enjoy your bed. Good night, folks.
Okay.
See ya.
Have
See ya.
fun. See ya.